Check 1 2. What is good? What is good? Welcome. It is Drag the Lake Live. Let me Drag the Lake Live. What is good, everybody? How are we doing? As you guys know, the new format for basically it's a new format for being entertained from me, by me, entertained by me. Yeah. If you'd like to be entertained by me with the assistance of Pat, along with Pat doing the double duty, doing all of our shit, come over to Drag the Lake. Whether it's talking about movies, current events, the news, music, which I do have some good music stuff to get into today. I don't know, sent Pat the link. You know, you guys know the deal with Pat. Computer's always fucked up. Blah, 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 blah. I might actually talk about, for the sake of the clip or something like that, I might actually talk about there's a new Converge single that just dropped today, and I wanted to give a quick little 2 cents. Dunbar in the room. What up, brother? How you doing? Oh, look at this. We've Slav has made a new account. Slav, again, we've talked about it before. You got a short leash. If you fuck up the vibe, you are out of here. Anything about SF? I don't know what SF is. San Francisco, lovely city this time of year. But yeah, goddamn. Sorry, I'm a little groggy. You know, sometimes. Skankfest. We talked about. I mean, I talked with Lamise about Skankfest on the new episode of Paintings that comes out tomorrow. I was trying to remember what day it is. Okay. All right. Texted Patrick. But anyway, yes. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about Skankfest. I wasn't there. You know, I don't know. Saw a lot of great people getting great opportunities, and me sitting at home with, you know, my just a lot of people going, "Yo, why the fuck aren't you here?" And I go, "That's a great question." So, and I got no ill will. I'm not gonna fucking cry. I am bummed. I am bummed that I did not get asked to do it. I thought it was a little bit odd. It was a little bit odd because it's like I got asked to do it at the. How many times have they been to Vegas? 2, 3 times? No, not the first Vegas. I think the second Vegas I got asked to do it. Yeah, I've gotten asked to do it, and then I didn't get asked to do it, and then I again didn't get asked to do it. So I'm like, I don't. And then you see a bunch of open mic comedians with no following whatsoever. And I'm not saying I got a big following, but what I'm trying to say is there's a lot of comedians that went there and didn't get, asked to take one picture or anything, and no one came up to. And I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying, like, no one came up to them and went, "Oh, da da da, oh, da da da," and then see, this is why you're so fucking annoying, Slav. Like, right out of the gate, it's funny. Andy and Kumia pouted the same about not being invited, despite knowing they could have showed up and been let in. That you're just, god damn it, Slav. All right, man. You're just a fucking retard, dude. You're just a fucking retard. I'm literally not pouting. I'm just talking about it. You asked. Like, it's a very funny thing. It's a very funny thing to hop in the chat, ask, and then go, look at him complaining about it. You're literally a retarded person, bro. I can't help you. I can't help you. This is why people feel the way they feel towards you. All right, is the Drag the Lake page streaming? But yeah, no, it's I don't know, man. How about you do this? I'm advocating for you and Kumia. Well, you literally said the word pouted. How am I supposed to fucking take that? Except you calling me a fucking freezer. You fucking dumb idiot. Like, dude, come on. You might want to sit back and just go like, dude, am I just like, am I racist because I'm just stupid? Am I just a stupid fuck? Like, I love you, buddy, but like, dude, it's you talk too much shit for how fucking dumb you are. But anyway, no, yeah, no, it's just, you know what it is. It's just frustrating. It's just like, I guess I get, and you're probably looking at me like, oh my god, Andy's over here, like Andy's getting real aggressive about it, blah 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 blah. And it's like, dude, you got to look at it from my vantage point. I've been doing comedy for a really long time. I've been doing comedy for like over a decade, and you do all this shit, and you work really hard, and you get a fan base built up, and a lot of that fan base is hardcore Legion of Skanks. A lot of that fan base is hardcore Legion of Skanks fan. And then it's just you've done a bajillion shows at Gas Digital and stuff like that. Also, by the way, the reason I love you too. Also the reason your comment fucking annoys me is like Kumia was actually, I saw Kumia's tweet. He was actually online being a fucking complaining bit. Like, where have you seen me fucking? You haven't seen me cry about it. You've seen me talking about it like a mature adult over here. I was not Kumia being like, I would be there, but I wasn't invited. And like, you know what I mean? Like, that's Kumia tweeting like that. He's a racist and a crybaby. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's just, process things properly before you say dumb shit in the chat. But yeah, no, it's just, it's not, I'm not, because I don't feel entitled to anything. That's a big thing. That's a big thing that I want to say is like, I don't feel, no one owes me a goddamn thing. Not here, not there, not anywhere. Don't give a fuck. I don't feel I'm not entitled to your festival. It's just, yeah, look at that. That looks nice. Let's just let it fucking, it's too hot in this goddamn room. It was funny. Lemaire was fucking busting my balls because Lemaire will like hop into the stream quite often. And he'll hop into, and he said, yeah, he's like, last time I hopped in the stream, he's like, I was trying to watch, but the second I hopped in, you were like, I don't like my hair. I'll be right back. I was like, God damn it. I got to stop doing that. This is why it's like, if you don't have friends properly making fun of you, I don't know if you actually have friends. You know what I mean? If you don't have friends actively fucking pointing out little shit like that, dude, it's so fun. It's just so fun being like that too. Like last night we were at, where were we at? We were at the Creek in the Cave, Optimum Noctis, and Kevin Iso was there. And he had a dude, it's so fucking brutal to try to like hop into the mix with a new hat. to try to throw down a new hat and try to like just be like, and then everyone's just, and immediately because he had, I don't even know what the type of hat is called, but it just, like, I'll put it this way. I was like giving him shit about the new hat. And then I turned to Nate. I go, Nate, you got to get Kevin up soon. He's got to play a set later with the Roots. Like, just, so picture a cool black guy hat like that. And it's just, you know what I mean? It's not even to say like you're wrong for wearing this hat, Kevin. He's not wrong. It's just saying like, you kind of like it's like you test your friend. You're like, are you this guy? Because that's a whole thing. Like when I, you guys see me, and then when I put on the beanie, I'm still kind of like, it's still Andy. You know what I mean? It's not a different Andy. If I go get a baseball hat, like you've seen me on here with like baseball hats and dad hats and stuff like that, it's still the same essence of Andy. You still get my essence. You still get the same essence of Andy. But if I were to roll into the stream and just have a Jason Mraz fedora, like that's a whole different conversation. You go, that's not the Andy we're used to. And you like, It's basically because people just view it as being mean. And there are versions of this stuff where it's like, you're just being mean, you're just being a hater. But it's the like light, fun little jabbing where you're like, you this guy? Are you sure you're this guy? Because that's the thing. It's like, not that I'm like super close friends with Kevin Iso. He's done the podcast a bunch, and we've like hung out at clubs and talked and stuff like that. But like, me and Kevin Iso are chill. So like, you know, when I see him, it's that kind of like, you this guy, you know, it's a fun thing to do. What are we saying over here? It seems like Skankfest, unless you're a theater act, seems to be greasy wheel situation. Plenty of obvious choices for the fest. Ask to be added within a month of the fest. Yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. I don't know. I'm not wasting my time trying to like figure out the, you know, I'm not wasting my time trying to figure out the politics of anything, because I think Skankfest at the end of the day, this is too why I'm not like, you know, it's not about me. It's not about me. I love, you know, you guys know I grew up in this comedy world as a hardcore Legion of Skanks fan. Still a huge Skanks fan. I think Lewis, Dave, and Jay are some of like some of the three best fucking comics there are and shit like that. Like the three funniest dudes, three best comics, shit like that. And like I'm a fan till I fucking die. Skanks till I die, dude. But like, so it's no shade, and it's like I was also too. You'll hear it on the podcast. I was asking Lemaire about it. Like I was asking how they sort of like built up the festival and shit like that. Because I went to the first like, bro, I was at like the first 3 or 4 Skankfest, because I think they did 3 at the Creek. No, they did like 2 just at the Creek, and then they did 1 where it was like half Creek, half somewhere else. Then they did Brooklyn Bazaar. I forget if it was 2 or 3 at the Creek before they went to the Brooklyn Bazaar. But I was at, if it was 3, I was at all of those. If it was 3, it was at all of those. If it was 4, I was at 3 of them. So, and it was kind of funny because it's like I got to firsthand see how Skankfest evolved, because I went to the first one. The first one was like a special thing, because it was just kind of like a bunch of, because like Skanks wasn't huge, but they had a big enough fan base, and there was enough good comedians there. There was enough good comedians there that they could get a good, you could pack out the Creek. And if you've never been to the old Creek, it's not a gigantic building. You know, it was a beautiful space, and it cultivated a lot of cool shit. Like a lot of the shit you enjoy now, you know, hit up Rebecca Trent and say, fucking thank you for having the Creek, because she's a big reason a lot of that shit's, you know, anyone like fucking Joe List, Mark Norman, Tim Dillon, the Skanks guys. You know what I mean? Like you don't get that without the Creek. What's up, everybody? Thanks for hopping in. How we all doing? Appreciate you guys hopping in. This is the daily streams, Monday through Friday. Big Red over here on Drag the Lake. Whenever I'm solo, my brain just goes back to Big Red in the morning. So yeah, Big Red. I remember meeting you at Bazaar. First was at Sea and Shrieking Cave. Second, third at Brooklyn Bazaar. I think they only did 1 at Brooklyn Bazaar, or did they do 2? I think they only did 1 at Brooklyn Bazaar. I can't remember. But yeah, they what was I saying? Shouts out to Rebecca. However you feel about her, she's cultivated a lot of fucking cool shit for comedy and stuff like that. But no, it was cool because the first Skanks was like pretty sick because there wasn't a lot of people there. And then I think word got out about how cool Skankfest was, and then more people wanted to go. And so then it kind of got a little bit crazy. And I remember the second one, the second one kind of sucked half the time, because during the day they would have like the big shows in the main room at the Creek. And if you were never at the Creek, it was never like it was a very cool space, but it was never that big. So like the main room at the Creek, it would get packed the fuck out very quickly. And it wasn't, I remember later at night, they would move over to, I forget what the place was. It was like a couple blocks away, but they would move over there at night. And then they would do these like big ass shows and stuff like that. It's funny. I remember it was so funny too, because I remember being there and being like watching the naked roast and like Zach Amika's there and like fucking Vega's there, and I was like, damn, I saw you guys' dick before I became friends with you guys. So that was really funny. But yeah, and then so they they kind of had like the reason I was so curious and excited about NOLA is just because like I've firsthand okay. Okay, no worries, brother. Have fun doing gas car shit. It is your bad. Everyone's mad at you. We were all jacking our shit, and we're gonna wait to bust till you got here. Now this is throwing it off, and everyone got weird blue balls. So now our stomachs. How do you spell stomach? I'm stupid. Now our stomachs hurt. You did that. JK, you just got pranked. Hope CarMax sucks as little as possible. XOXO. Hell yeah. All right. So no Pat today. But you still always get the big man, the big red man. All right. It's not Drag Leg, it's Big Red in the Morning, guys. Here, wait, let me double check his message. All right, cool. All right, you guys got me all to yourself. None of that piece of shit, Pat George. Oh, look at that on the fucking YouTube. You guys are fucking jamming out on the. Wait, why does it say message redacted? Don't message redact these boys. I'm very jealous of anyone who went to the Creek in the Cave, Skankfest, legendary meeting at Bazaar. Oh yeah, is the name of the side project of Weekend Nachos? The lead singer is in it. Got a vinyl from him personally. Wait, Stomach is the name of a side project by Weekend Nachos. Why is this? Fuck it. The YouTube chat annoys the fuck out of me. Why does it kick out fucking people? But anyway. Oh, so what were we talking about? Jesus Christ, love. I haven't even made it home from Skankfest yet, dude. Honestly, if I had the money, I would just take an extra week after Skankfest, especially in like maybe not in Vegas, like Skankfest Vegas was a really good time. Skankfest Vegas was a really good time. But I didn't want to do anything outside of the fucking venue. Like I was talking to someone, they were saying about NOLA, they were saying the only thing about like NOLA was amazing. And from what I saw, a lot of people talking on Twitter and shit like that, from what I saw with a lot of people talking on Twitter, they were saying that they're like, everyone could kind of feel like NOLA might be the new home for a while because the weather was nice. You know, a lot of Skankfests are like hot as fuck. The weather there was nice. It was a good vibe. Good. The city just had a much cooler vibe to it and shit like that. and the whole setup was nicer and shit like that. But but I saw like one dude was saying, he's like, yeah, the only difference was like NOLA, you had to get like an Uber, like when Skankfest was over, and if you wanted to keep partying and if you wanted to go to the casino, you had to kind of like Uber. It wasn't like right there. In Vegas, it's like right there. And I was like, dude, I got to tell you, all the shit that's right there, I was like, it all sucks ass. Like the Fremont Street shit, it's just a skeevy little fucking strip mall vibe. It's just, it's to me, well, I guess the Jersey Shore is trying to emulate that. So I was gonna say it's like the Jersey Shore, but fucking turned up to 11. But I guess the Jersey Shore is that toned down. But like the Jersey Shore is fun because it's not like an overbearing monster the way that fucking Vegas is. Like, and it's no shade whatsoever on Skankfest. Let me make that very clear. Like Skankfest in Vegas, like Skankfest wherever it is, fucking rips. But Vegas itself, and I'm very biased. Like I'm not on the fence. Like, I'm sure there's great parts of Vegas that I'm missing, and like so it's not a whole just fucking fuck Vegas, but it is like from what everything from I've yet to find the cool part of Vegas. And then just what also just bugged me, like just having a city that doesn't have like Vegas's history is just all the shitty. Its history is just basically like the shitty aspects of fucking capitalism and government in general. You know what I mean? Because it gets started by the mob stealing people's pension funds. You know what I mean? So it starts off with the whole like, oh, unions are the biggest important thing. Anyway, let's steal all these union funds and pension funds or whatever the fuck it was. I'm not fucking well versed in knowledge, so give me a goddamn break. But it's all that. It's all that. So it gets started in the worst way possible. And I'm not even like shitting on the mob. I'm just sort of saying like it's the people who say like obviously unions are the greatest thing ever when in actuality they're just the opposite side of the same coin from what I've gathered. You know what I mean? It's not to say the unions are worse. I'm not saying that. I just go like, nah, everything I've ever fucking learned about unions, I go, you guys are just as bad, just with less power, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? It's the difference between like, I'm over explaining. You go, so it starts there. Bitcoin's still going down. Yeah, that's not. I kept seeing that. What is it at right now? I kept seeing the whole Bitcoin. Jesus, God damn it. Well, I was gonna take out a bunch of my Bitcoin as a safety net after the new year, so it's on next year's taxes and I can keep I'm right now Big Red's kicking cans. So if you can help Big Red out by hitting subscribe or follow or any of that shit, it would be much appreciated. But no, yeah. So like Vegas starts by like the worst versions of capitalism and government and all that shit, and then the whole thing, it just turns into it's just if TikTok was a fucking place you could walk around. That's all it is. And it's that versus NOLA, which has all this like deep culture. Like I was talking to Gardini and he was saying like, dude, they were in a fucking bar. They were in a bar that got built before the country was a thing. And I go, that's one of the coolest things I've ever heard. To be in a bar that got open like with a 7, like, oh, the open date had a 17 in front of it. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's so fucking cool. You don't got any of that with Vegas. Like, dude, I remember the biggest sign I had that was like Vegas is a shithole. I remember I went to Vegas. I went to Vegas for Skankfest. There was a bunch of local Vegas people who went to the show. And this is like my gauge on the area. Because you guys know me, I'm a big food guy. I think there's a lot of like a lot of stuff in life is just a bunch of plate spinning bullshit. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of there's not. It's our life. It's we're just pushed consumerism. And well, let me back it up. Oh wait, I got a little bit of a. Actually, wait. Pat said, "Brother, I guess you guys are just gonna have to wait and bust until tomorrow, or maybe in the next day, or whenever I say. I'm daddy, and you do what I say." Well, we didn't wait, and you're not daddy. You're peepaw down on the farm, fucking pigs, and our tummies hurt. Hell yeah. Anyway, where the fuck was what was I talking about before I texted Pat gay stuff? Um, oh yeah. It's like there's so much stuff in life that's just pushing like this is how you're supposed to be, and when you're in the midst of it, you're like, oh, there's literally no substance to it whatsoever. It's like going out to the club. Going out to the club and you're like, yeah, we're standing in the room, the music's too loud, I can't have a real conversation with anyone, and the drinks are 3 times the price they should be. It's like I could do all of this at home and have 1,000% more fun. And that's not to say I don't like to leave the house. It's just a lot of the things that society tells you you're supposed to leave the fucking house for, you go, that actually sucks shit. So like one of the things worth leaving the house for is a good fucking, a good fucking meal with friends. So like when I go to a goddamn city, like it happened when I was with Robbie and we were doing Pittsburgh. The people there were lovely. The people who came out to the show were fucking lovely. Pittsburgh, they're a blue collar city. I'm sure they got good people. But when you go around and you ask people, what's your thing? You go to Philly and you go, what's your thing? They go, fucking Philly cheesesteak. Philly cheesesteak. And you can go and there's like a shit ton of places where it rips harder than you could even possibly imagine. And that's how you get fucking good people who want to fucking live a little bit. You know what I mean? You still get these like everyone's still dark and depressed and all that other shit, but you get good, you get a people where you go like, well, at least I can get a fucking cheesesteak and get drunk and shit like that. You get a different type of demeanor and seediness when you go to Pittsburgh and you go, what's your fucking food here? And they go, it's Permanthi Brothers. And then you go, is it good? And then they go, eh. And it's like you gotta have something more. You gotta open up. And it's dude. There's something about too, like these people, they don't have fucking YouTube, I guess in a lot of these depressed towns, they don't, the industries leave and so does YouTube. Because none of these people could possibly go to fucking YouTube and go, hey, how do I make a good fucking dish? I'm a raging alcoholic retard. And I figured out how to make tacos real good. And you know how I did it? I bought some tacos from a Mexican who could barely speak English, and I fucking YouTube some shit as well. Did a combo. So maybe you guys need to meet some more Mexicans or something. I don't know. But yeah, like when I see that with New Orleans and they got bars from the 1700s and they got all the fucking best food. And I'm not even a big seafood guy, but that to me is one of the places where the seafood's the best. So I'll fucking check that the fuck out. And it's a good time. Oh, we got a text back from Pat. Hell yeah. Anyway, I imagine there's got to be a Skankfest Miami. People might die at that one. People might, and not just from heat stroke, like they died at the last, like not died, but people like passed out. People like did a header. People did like a fucking header at some of the last Skankfest, right? From fucking like heat stroke. And shit like that. But yeah, man. No, it's just so that's why I just like when you go to Vegas and you're just like it's just the worst version of consumerism, and then you just go like, well, at least what's your food? What's like the cool part of town? And people are like, I mean, there's a Taco Bell and a weed store over there, and you're like, oh, maybe we get rid of this place. Maybe this place doesn't need to be here. So getting back to what I'm saying is like, people saying like, oh, when Skankfest was over, the party was right there in New York, and you're like, oh, was the Fun Comedy Festival station right next to Hell? That's so we got to go back there next year. And it's like, yeah. And also too, I know Nolans is kind of like dangerous and fucked up. Like I know it's but like for the weekend it's fine. You know what I mean? Like for the weekend I think everyone was chilling. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Dunbar on the streets reporting from it. How was it? Like did you walk around and like imagine you were a girl with some big fat titties. I think about it every day with you, Dunbar. But like imagine you were a stacked fat titted bitch. Would you think you'd be unsafe? Like Pat, like I understand living there, you'd probably they'd probably like take you, do some voodoo sacrifice, rip your body apart and shit like that. But for the weekend in the touristy areas, you're fine. I saw this guy drooling from fentanyl at this year's Skankfest. Yeah, but that was like over there. No, I just think I think it's also important to just have it at somewhere with like that's actually like a real place. Not just like Vegas is just for tourists. It's just for tourists. It's for tourists to go and have all this exciting shit, and then people who live there work in the tourist industry. I think like that, and then everything around it is downstream from the tourist industry. You know what I mean? If there's any like normal stuff, texting Pat still. If there's any normal stuff in Vegas, it's because if there's any normal shit in Vegas, it's because the people who need to make money off the tourist industry need normal shit. Vegas is meant to spend money. I make kick-ass tacos. Can make tortillas from scratch, which I'll do sometimes too. So I'm getting really good at tacos. I'm getting really good at this fucking. I got to show you guys this. I don't know if you saw, brother. I'm so proud of these goddamn tacos. I'm so goddamn it. Let's pull them up. I'm so fucking proud of them. Oh, dude, you know what else I'm fucking proud of? This fucking guy. God damn it. Can you guys please send some cash to Big Red so we don't have to go do other things then. I want to wake up. This is Big Red's perfect day. And I just need you guys to if you could just all every day you wake up and you go, I got to Venmo Big Red $1. That's what we got to do, guys. That's what we got to do together as a community. You wake up, you pull out your phone and you go, did I Venmo Big Red $1? And if you didn't, you got to Venmo Big Red $1 every day for the price of a cup of coffee. Big Red can sit around and play Fortnite all day. That's it. I don't know why we haven't figured this out yet. But for the price of a cup of I'm just kidding. But no, for real though, like, God damn it. I love my life. I just wish I got paid for it because I'm like fucking chilling, dude. Wake up, stream, talk to the people, let the people like, dude. Can you imagine this fucking day? You wake up, read a little bit of your conspiracy book, read a comic book, read a little bit of Scott Horton's Provoked, and then you fire up the stream, let the people know, like for hours, just letting the people know. And then you stop doing that. And then you sit on your couch, you pull out your AirPod, you put one in because you have to keep one out because if you have your headphones in, your wife comes up to you and just starts talking. And so like, you got to pull one out and go, what'd you say? So you keep one out just so you can hear because she's not going to say, she's just going to start talking. And then and then she's done. And then you put your headphone back in and you listen to your book about Jeffrey Epstein. And then you play Fortnite for 2 hours. But then the problem is because Big Red didn't manage his money properly. He didn't manage his money properly. Now he has to go do a valet job and park rich people's cars at Fogo de Chao. And then you sit in there and you go, why can't I have this beautiful car? Gotta have one headphone out so you can hear the forklift comment. Yeah, dude. I gotta get in those forklift competitions. Have you guys seen those? I know a couple. Derek was sending them to me. A couple of you guys send me videos of the forklift competitions. I legit have to get into one of those. I need one of those haircuts where they shave the sides off. But yeah, dude. I'm chilling. I'm loving life. Thank you for everyone that fucking helps out and contributes. Obviously, I'm not owed nothing by any of y'all. These are all jokes and these are all silly. This is all silly Billy talk. But yeah, man. There's a few other. Oh, that's right. We were talking tacos. That's why I pulled up my Twitter. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh yeah, it was literally the other day. Brother. Look at Ken. A quick question, boys. Can a white boy speak a little Spanish? What are we doing over here? Look at that shit. It's such a photogenic goddamn picture, dude. It's so fucking beautiful. Look at that shit. Like, for real, can a white boy speak a little Spanish today, man? That's what I'm making, dude. That's what I'm making my mamacita at home. At home? That's at home. This is at home. This kind of shit's in the house. What are we doing, man? But yeah, I've been getting good at tacos. I've been getting real good at tacos because I figured out we bought tacos the other night and it hola. No, we got tacos the other night because my parents were here and we were just lazy and we never wanted to actually like cook food or anything. And it's also they're here. And it's like, we live in Austin. Let's take them out to eat. Let's not just like cook dinner and shit. And too many distractions. Look at that. 4 concurrent viewers on the Drag the Lake page. I love you guys. You guys are so fucking cool. Yeah, man. Monday through Friday. Pat on most days. Big Red with you every day. It's a good fucking time. I don't know if I said it before, but again, to the people, let me repeat this real quick because I do want to talk more about Skankfest, and it's why I kind of got, god damn it, fucking gay ass Twitter with a passcode on your fucking DMs. Let's no, because I got a little. The reason I kind of like lashed out on your comment, Slav, is besides you and how you are, but no, for real though, it's like I don't want any of this come off like bitching because I'm very happy for everyone who works at Skankfest and does all the shit because it doesn't, like, again, I'm not entitled to anything. It doesn't matter that I didn't get the fucking festival. I'm just happy that they're promoting good comedy, and some shit that started off as like a bunch of retards at the Creek in the Cave is now just like, when I saw the pictures of like the main room where they were doing skanks and shit like that, it was just, I'm like, wait, it's fucking huge. It's fucking huge. And it's like a real deal, legitimate operation. So yeah, no, I don't want to come off like I'm a fucking crybaby because I'm really not. I just, they must have forgot. They just must have forgot Big Red because they had so many open micers to book. Okay, like you gotta let your boy get a little nasty. You gotta let your boy. I just saw, based off what I saw in the festival, I was like, oh, it must have been open micer year. It must have been give every open micer an opportunity. Oh, does that guy have fans and a and a podcast just as popular as most podcasts on the festival? Does that guy have literal fans and a podcast? You know what I mean? It's like, no. This is open micer year. This is headliners. It's headliners and micers year. All right. I'm being nasty. But anyway, yeah, I thought I was also a little well, I do gotta say the main room was crazy big. Yeah. It looked, and I thought that was so fucking cool. I remember oh, it was the dude who I'm so sorry. Ricky, I think. I forget his name, but he posted a picture of Naeem. Here, wait. Was it Ricky? Here, maybe he tagged Naeem in the video. Bing bang boom. No, I can't remember who posted it. I know the dude's profile when I see it, but I can't remember exactly. Let's see if it's in my like recent. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, there's that video. There's that video of Naeem walking out from the top balcony, and then it shows the view. It shows the view of like the whole lower area. And I was like, it's very funny too in the video because Naeem's there going like, yeah, and there's a couple people like, oh hey Naeem. It just did not match his energy whatsoever. But yeah, when I saw him walk out on like whatever you would call that, the balcony or the mezzanine or whatever, and then you see like, oh, this is like a stage for a theater act. I was like, fuck. I was like, that's so fucking cool. And it's packed. You know what I mean? Like, every picture I saw of that place, it was packed. It wasn't just like, oh, this show's no, it was fucking packed. Like, that was so cool. And yeah, I said it a bunch before, but the general vibe of putting it in Nolans, I thought was cooler. And I think too, like having it's not the biggest thing in the world. It's not the biggest deal in the world that, oh, the party isn't 5 feet after this party has to end. There's something about like, oh yeah, we're done with Skankfest. All right, let's slow it down. We take the 15-minute Uber and then we go to Bourbon Street, and then you party on Bourbon Street, and you're like, you either take the 15-minute Uber home or you decide to balance it out and maybe just crush a fucking hour walk or whatever the fuck it is. Yeah, so yeah, shout out Skankfest. Obviously, huge mistake not booking the red one. It will affect everything for years to come. You know, this will be the last good year of Skankfest because it will go down the history books. They're like, yeah, they forgot to book Big Red on Skankfest NOLA, and it just was never the same. Obvious jokes. The walks are a vibe. I agree, man. Well, sometimes too, like, well, there, you know what it is? It's almost thank you, Slav. So the only drink you're gonna buy me though is a White Russian. I don't want to drink all that milk. White Russians are such a funny drink. I remember my brother started drinking them just because he was like, Big Lebowski, yeah. I'm like, he's not even like a big drinker. But I was just like, dude, there's nothing less I want while I'm drinking than milk. You know, maybe if I've never had one, but like an Irish coffee sounds good, like with some Baileys in it and shit. But like, you know, that's some like hair of the dog shit. But like when it comes to just a drink, I've never been sitting there and just being like, yeah, we're getting drunk. You know what I need? Milk. It's just like, it's psychotic to me. It is eggnog. Yeah, eggnog also sounds fucking retarded, but to Sidewalk Toes, he was saying like the walks are a vibe. Nah, because it's like there's certain, and this is a thing we're losing with like the advancements of technology and shit like that, is we're losing the natural cool down period that a lot of things gave us just because the limitations of technology. You know what I mean? Just like little things like, I think we're not appreciating art as much as we used to, just by the sheer fact that it's like, just by the sheer fact that it's like, you had to like, the theater's still there. You know what I mean? But like, you could just, any movie that's out, if you just wait a month or two, it'll be on fucking Amazon Prime or HBO or some shit like that. Like Weapons, I saw Weapons a couple months ago, and we just watched it on HBO like a week or two ago. And so, like, what am I trying to say? So, but there was like a natural thing that made you like just the limitations of technology forced you to slow down and enjoy and process stuff. When you went to go see a movie, you were like most times when you saw a movie in theaters, you're like, this is the one time I get to see this movie until it comes out on VHS or DVD in a year or two. Unless you wanted to, because most people aren't like going to see a movie a shit ton of times while it's in theaters. It's just, whether it's financial limitations or most people don't do it like that, or you know what I'm saying? So like, you'd be like, this is the only way I get to watch it. There's no way to like replay it until it comes out on VHS or DVD. So it's like, I got to sit there and I got to take it in and I got to consume it. It like life forced you to have an attention span, and then it came out on and by the way, I kind of miss that. Can we just do that? Like it was honestly, it was probably arbitrary back in the day. But like, it was way better than, now I get it. This probably makes more sense financially, but just as a consumer, what did I think of Weapons? I thought Weapons was fucking amazing. That's why I saw fucking Rainey tweeting about it. And he was doing the thing where, and no shit, this isn't me shitting on Rainey or nothing. I think Rainey's got, I think Rainey's a smart dude, got great takes. I honestly, whenever I fucking see him, because he's my serial killer guy. So every time I see Rainey, I go, he knows way more about serial killers than me. And like, I saw the Ed Gein show, and like, I'm new to some of this stuff, especially compared to him. So I go up to him and I go, "What'd you think about Ed Gein?" Like so I fuck with Rainey. But I saw him tweeting about like Weapons is like the most dog shit movie, and that piqued my interest, because like, when I saw, now it might shift over the coming years, but like when I saw Weapons, I was like, this is one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. I love this so fucking much. Like the way it's constructed, the pacing of it, the fucking, the symbolism behind it, the way it's presented, the cool. And I know a lot of people got mad about the fucking AK-47 over the house. And then you see the clip of the director going like, I don't even know what it means, which I guess, that's, I don't know. I think the Weapons hatred is backlash to the Weapons love, because it's like, brother, no one can leave. You can't leave that movie going, this is dog shit. You can leave it going like, yeah, it just didn't hit me the right way. But it's like, you can't leave. And if your biggest complaint, because that's the thing, that's why, like, I remember commenting under Rainey's post, I was like, I'm genuinely curious why you hated it, hoping he'd respond, and he never did. Because it's like, the closest thing I've heard to a good critique about the movie is the AK, like, what the fuck's with the AK-47 over the house? And you're like, okay, yeah, you know what? The movie didn't make a lot of sense for 5 seconds during a dream sequence. That, you're right. That's why the whole movie sucks shit. And it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think a lot of people, it's what happened to me with the Pixies back in the day. The band, the Pixies, if you guys aren't aware, they're a band. They're very good. But when I was younger, my brother would drive me into school every day before I got a driver's license. Like, I took the bus for a little bit in 9th grade. My brother got a driver's license, and we were in high school at the same time. So my brother got a driver's license, and he would drive me in every day. And, because the Malafrenas are notoriously autistic. he would literally every morning he would put on REM, the Pixies, and like They Might Be Giants. And I would just, he was so unfair with the radio. I would be like, can I play something? And he would just get like, ugh. And I'd be like, fuck me in the ass, I guess, dude. Sorry, God forbid. You know, it was the same thing with that dickhead whenever we played Grand Theft Auto. Whenever we played Grand Theft Auto, I remember, dude, I would sit there and like, and I'll watch a motherfucker play a game. I'm here, you know me, guys. I'm here for a hang. I'm here for a good fucking hang. I'll watch a motherfucker play a game. And I'll watch a motherfucker play a game. And he would play Grand Theft Auto. I would watch him play it for like an hour or two. And I'd be like, can I have a go at it? And he would be like it's one thing. It's like he would get annoyed with me. And I go, like, you understand the like imbalance of what you're mad about, right? You know what I mean? It's psychotic. And he would be like that. And then he would never let me put any of the music on. So at first I was like, oh, I hate all of these bands. And then when I got some distance from it and I got to put whatever music I wanted to play on when I got to driving to school, I was like, okay, I don't hate REM, I think, is still one of a very overrated band. I don't know about one of the most ever, but REM's a very overrated band. But I got some distance from it. I'd be like, nah, the Pixies fucking rip. The Pixies fucking rip. And I was like, nah, you know what? I was in the vicinity of my brother's shitty attitude at the time. Brother's a lovely guy. But I was in the vicinity of my brother's shitty attitude. And that's why I was that's why I was like, fuck this guy and anything he likes. The Pixies fucking suck. You get some distance, the emotions dissipate. And the emotions dissipate, and you're like, actually, the Pixies rip. I apologize to the Pixies. And I think it's a similar thing with Weapons, because I've seen people shit on Weapons. I haven't seen like a good critique of it. And maybe I haven't looked hard enough, but legitimately I haven't seen a good critique of it. And even with like, even with and this will go, I saw your comment, Cell Rat. I don't know anything about Weapons. Can you elaborate on the gun? So in Weapons, if you guys didn't see, well, actually, let me do this, because I want to go get a cup of coffee. I want to go get another cup of coffee and see if there's and get some water. Let me just play you the trailer for Weapons real quick. That'll give you context and we'll talk about it more. Yeah, this will be perfect, because I want to go grab another cup of coffee and refill my water cup. So this will be perfect. This will be perfect. Oh yeah. All right, and now we're gonna watch trailer number 2 to get full. Look at that to get full context. Now, hello. Oh shit! Do you guys hear that? Oh! I turned on. I turned on the wrong. God damn it! This is not much better. Whatever, dude. You guys like the hair. You guys like the hair, right? Farwild, what's up, brother? What's up, brother? Dude, Farwild, I gotta tell you, this is not blowing smoke up your cock. This is not blowing smoke up your beautiful, beautiful cock, Farwild. I get more. Well, I'm wearing one of the shirts you made me right now. Fucking this, by the way, that was a cool little detail on the shirt. Go check out Farwild. He's got a dope band and he makes cool shirts. But no, dude, I gotta tell you, the band shirts you gave me, I wear those often because you show love to the big boys, and you got the fucking you show love to the big boys, and you got the comfort colors, those shirts, dude, and you got your cool ass logos on it. I get so many like, oh shit, cool shirt when I'm rocking your shit. So Yeah, man. Whenever you want to send me free shit, I'm here, brother. Oh God, look at that. Look at the washed out face. But anyway, so we saw the trailer of Weapons. 2:17 a.m. kids, they're running like this. What the fuck happened? Why did that happen? And so throughout the movie, like the movie basically jumps around to show you each character's like perspective, and then it'll show the girl that was in it from fucking Ozarks, and then it'll show you there's this cop character, there's this junkie character, and then they show you the from the perspective of Josh Brolin, which one of his kids was in the class. One of his kids was in the class, and he's trying to find his kid and shit like that. And then at one point, and he keeps sleeping in his kid's bed. He keeps having dreams about his kid. And in one part of the movie, they show you his dream, and they show him running out of the house and running towards another house. And he sees this house, and then just like a giant AK-47 pops up. And then it's just like it's like you see the outline of it, but it's still pretty detailed. And it's very clearly an AK-47. It like flickers or something, and then it like goes away. And like, I think people were getting annoyed by that because it was like, you know, it felt like it was overtly political, which, you know, I think people need to realize the vast majority of movies have a fuck ton of subtext. Like they're not just telling you fun stories for the sake of it. I think people have like a real misunderstanding of that, of like how much, like I remember I was talking to my wife, that rules. Thanks, dude. Same size. Still 3X, brother. Still fucking beefy as shit. But yeah, no, like I remember I was talking to my wife about it cause she was like, I don't like sci-fi. It's just like weird space shit or whatever the fuck she said. I'm paraphrasing and not giving her a generous interpretation of her words. And she was like, it's just like space shit and whatever. And I was like, no, dude, like sci-fi fucking rips because it has so much subtext about life and politics and all this other shit and all this shit. And then also on top of that, they give you like cool space shit. You know, so it's like sci-fi to me is like kind of perfect at times because you can watch it and you can go, I'm just watching aliens do fucking interdimensional shit. Or you can go like, yes, this is a commentary on the blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, it can do both. It can do both. You know what I mean? We can do missionary or we could do like a fucking, we'll do the goddamn stand and fuck. Whatever, dude. We got all of it. And I think a lot of people got triggered by the gun in Weapons. Because it felt too overt. And I was like, but then I saw someone else made a comment on Twitter, which was kind of funny. Where it was like, oh yeah, the gun was so random and unnecessary. You know what I mean? Because how could there possibly be a correlation to just a whole classroom worth of kids disappearing one day and guns and what could the correlation possibly be? You know what I mean? It's this fucking thing where like we've been programmed as an audience to not give people the benefit of the doubt. I don't know where that came from because like, and I used to feel it too with myself. Like I say this from personal experience, but it's like we've programmed ourselves to just like I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like if it's downstream from like a white guilt sort of thing or whatever, but and with like the fucking how climate change rhetoric just makes everyone like go like anxious and hate themselves because the whole thing is like, you know, when the real problem is all the fucking millionaires who talk about climate change taking private jets and, you know, the military does more to affect climate change than anyone who orders same day shipping on Amazon. Like that's how they fucking trick you, by the way. Like, and I'm no expert on climate change, but I am a firm believer in like the rhetoric is over the top trying to make you anxious and subordinate. I that's what I know that I believe about it. And it's like, you know, I think they're just trying to like, but anyway, but it's this human characteristic that they're good on preying off of like, we're just so, especially as Americans, because I think we associate our government and things like that with us. We're just so pre-programmed to like feel bad about ourselves. And when you see someone who doesn't feel bad about themselves, who's just going like, which if you watch the interviews with Zach Kreger, I'm sure he's just an anxious mess like every one of us and things like that. You know what I mean? Because it's funny. He's writing these like dark, serious movies, but he's such a cheery guy in the fucking interviews. But no, it's like you see weapons, it fucking rips. You see people having just genuine, awesome love for it. And then you're just like, no, why is everyone so fucking happy? And dude, I say this from personal experience. I used to be a miserable prick that would like, I didn't realize I was doing it, but I was like, that's what I was doing. And I think it's like, cause the reason I'm coming to this conclusion, because if you just like look at the fucking complaints, when it really comes down to just like, why is there a gun over the house? This is stupid. And then you actually go, well, and then he goes like, he doesn't even know what it means. It's like, well, why don't you take some time to figure out what it could mean? You know what I mean? Because it's like a lot of people think art isn't necessarily like that's what muses are. Where it's like a lot of people don't think they create art. A lot of people think the universe gives them art. And it's like, dude, the universe could have just been like, yo, put a gun up there. And it means something, but it doesn't necessarily mean something specific, or he doesn't even necessarily know what it fucking means. So it's like, why don't you just go, hey, man, you know how most of the movie fucking ripped for you? Why don't you take some time and just ponder this one complicated thing? You know what I mean? Like, that's more like, I'm not even sitting here saying like, I saw that part and I was like, this feels dumb. I also felt that. What I'm trying to say is like, these people who get so excited to discount a movie because one part of it was fucking dumb is very silly to me. Was it a Chekhov's gun? Like, did it have anything to do with the plot? No. And then it was, it didn't feel like it did. And then having the director flat out go like, having the director just like flat out say, I'm not even sure what the gun meant. Cause that's one of two things. It's one of two things. He either really means that, or it actually has to do with like school shootings and stuff. And he thought just flat out saying that would cause a little bit too much controversy and overshadow like the premiere of the movie. You know, there's also that. There's also like, hey man, you know, there could be something else happening right now than just what's happening right in front of you. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, Weapons, yeah, maybe people like me overhype the movie, but Weapons is a good fucking time. Anyway, let me I had some other shit I wanted to talk about. Oh, let's play this one. This has been making me laugh very hard lately. I don't know if you guys saw this going around. This has been making me laugh. This is a good question. Why show did it have nothing to do with the movie? And I think like, well, that's kind of part of art is, you know, art's not always there to just be like succinct and clear. I think sometimes you kind of like do shit because it just feels like what you're supposed to do. And I think he just felt like it's basically like stuff like that is supposed to get your brain thinking. You know what I mean? Because like you can't always approach. You know, it's like I was laughing. It's Pat does it sometimes, and I've said this to his face. I'm not like talking shit. Pat does this sometimes when we talk about certain movies and stuff. He gets really hung up on like minor things, and he lets those minor things ruin the rest of the movie for him. And I always try to approach a movie and go, just what was the overall thing the director was trying to give you? And did he or she accomplish that? So like, you know, while the gun doesn't completely make sense on its face, I go, the whole movie was a great representation of, he talked about in interviews, it was a great representation of having like alcoholic parents and shit like that and growing up with that. And you go like, yeah, when I get to the end of it like that, so again, yeah, it's a valid question. Why showed it has nothing to do with the movie? But here's the thing. If it's something that just he felt like it came to him, then it does have to do with the movie. It's just not obvious why it's there. And yeah, so I also too, I try not to let I also try not to let small blunders ruin the overall piece. You know what I mean? Cuz also too it's like, you got to also put yourself on that end of it makes a lot more sense. And I'm not saying you guys can't. I don't want this to come off as like an elitist thing of like you just don't get it until you really you just when you're in the midst of making a thing, you're gonna have a lot of like little blunders, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just sometimes there's just time restraints. Like I remember like I played you guys my band's EP from a while ago, and I listen back and I go, it's great, but there's always little things I hear where I just go like, oh, I fucking should have done this, should have done this. And they're all valid nitpicking critiques, but it's like at the end of the day, just take the whole thing in. Hell yeah, pause. But just take the whole thing and go, did it do what art should do? Did it make you feel good? Did it make you think about stuff? Did it make you, did you watch the movie and go, I was glad I did that for 2 hours and not the reverse? Like you didn't feel like you wasted my time. And if it did all those things, then like don't nitpick the little stuff and just take that as like, well, A, B, and C. Because if you spend time and create things, you start to realize, even with shit where you put really hard work in, you're always going to have these little things that nitpick it. So these little things to point out where it got fucked up. So to take those and determine its worth based off those, I think is like unfair and missing the bigger picture and really limiting yourself to what you can enjoy. But also, I say that as a guy who I do think it is very important to be critical of shit, because there's a lot of like shit that on the whole is bullshit that people just kind of let go because everyone's like, just let people have fun. And you know what? Sometimes no. Sometimes no. Sometimes pretentious ass Andy will swoop in and let you know, hey, I'm happy for you, but you have bad taste. Sometimes hipster Andy's got to fucking swing in and let the people fucking know. So, yeah. Anyway, that being said, go watch Weapons. Also, go watch Eddington. Eddington fucking ripped hard. I watched that the other night. That was a good fucking movie. Hell yeah. This is, by the way, this is also too on the flip side. On the flip side, these I'm the type of person critiquing this stuff. A guy who yaps about knowing what he knows about art and then spilling seltzer on himself immediately, taking a sip. Let's check this out. I wanted to talk about this. I kept seeing this pop up on my feed. I thought this was I thought this was fun. This is just some fun stuff. We're getting kind of serious and talking about art and all this stuff. This is just fun. So some lady, you guys have I like this one, consume products and get excited for more products. Actually, real quick, guys, do you mind if I text my wife back? Talk amongst yourselves. She just took the cat to the vet, and I want to acknowledge her feelings. She said, I have no idea if this cat needed to go to the vet. The text seemed pretty unconcerned and was like, yeah, allergy tests aren't usually recommended. Just got worried because that scab and also him being a dick. He also lost 3 to 4. But Diesel lost some weight. The vet said he was overweight, which I didn't agree with, but they're the vet. So, there we go. There we go. Feelings acknowledged. Kitty cat is A-okay. Everyone is happy. Everyone is happy. be everyone. Dude, I love posting shit. So you guys know I'm a big TikToker, right? We talk about this a lot. I'm a big time TikToker. I think I have more issues with the director claiming not to know what it means. Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, okay. How big of a deal is it to you? Is it a 2 or is it a 10? Because that's kind of like, if it's a 2, that's fine. Because I get where you're coming from. Because there is part of me, there is part of me that is like, but then also too, like, I don't know, man. Like, get into some like David Lynch, dude. Get into some David Lynch. And just go, and then tell me if tell me if everything in a David Lynch movie was super thought out, or if it's like, because that's the thing, man. Sometimes you just gotta go with vibes. You just gotta go with vibes. Like, I remember being in a band. Like, this is why I say, like, if you spend some time in, like, I don't know what your thing is, Cellrad. I don't know if you like make music or do art or anything like that. But I'm telling you, dude, spend some time and make some art, and you find yourself doing things, and you're like Patrice has the best thing talking about comedy, where he has that one joke where he says, he's talking about the DC sniper, and he says the word N-word in a Buick, and apparently he actually was in a Chrysler or something like that. But he's like, it's not, it's just Buick's not as funny to say. It's just funny on stage going N-word in a Buick, or what I say. Yeah, N-word in a Buick. It's just not. It's not. And it's like, why? It's like, because it is. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you'll be at band practice. I remember being in a band writing music, and you're just standing there, and you're like, the guitar part will be like, da na 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 na, and then someone will go like, dude, maybe we should go like, and then you jam on that and you're like, oh no, that's way better. And you're like, why is that better? You're like, it just felt better. So when someone throws something in and they go like, oh, it just feels right, I go, that to me is valid. You still gotta, like, you still, maybe over the time you go like, maybe this was a weird, you can still critique it as good or bad, but it's I don't think it's like a fair critique to come at him about not knowing what it means. But maybe if you could sit there and figure out what it means, and then you could say like, well, what it means is dumb. Yeah, but that, and not to be the artsy fartsy guy, but it's not a movie ruiner. But if you make a point to put something in a movie, there's a reason. But and then I go, well, go watch Tim Robinson. Do you think you know what I mean? Do you think there's a very specific reason he does everything he does in all those movies? Or like, because I'm like, the one reason I love, Tim Robinson shit is hilarious. Let's get that out there and get that straight. But another reason he intrigues me and fascinates me is because I think he's creating like a new type of comedy that, because that's the thing, like, about a lot of TV shows and a lot of movies is like, like you're saying, everything's in there for a reason. And then I'm watching Tim Robinson stuff going like, what if his whole thing was like, what if nothing had a reason to it? So it's like, that's the other thing where, you can also just spend your time completely flipping the script. But yeah, I would say watch Weapons. It does feel a little out of place, but it doesn't feel that weird. And also, just if you understand how artists work, sometimes you don't exactly know why you're doing something, but you do feel like you should do something in certain parts. And yeah, like I said too, like, if you want to get a taste of like, is there a reason for this? Go watch some David Lynch. You'll definitely feel that. But there is, though, at the same time, because you can make stuff by going off instinct. But yeah, let's check some other stuff out. I'm having fun. Big Red over here on. Damn, I be yapping. Good thing I bought a bunch of tea. Your boy got some tea. Let's actually, you know what? Let's actually watch something that I can rest my voice on a little bit. Let's see what Breaking Points is updating us on. Let's see what Breaking Points is updating us on today. Let me rest my voice just a little bit and regroup. Andy in the house. What's up, Foxtrot?
Good morning and welcome to Breaking Points. Emily, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How was Portugal?
Lovely.
I don't doubt that.
Quite lovely.
Yeah, that's an evergreen statement on Portugal.
Sad to be back.
Big show.
Yes.
Because Mohammed bin Salman was at the White House yesterday, and in a very newsy series of pressers. So there was the dinner that we are going to break down for everyone, but also his appearance in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, where Trump fielded questions from reporters. They stroked each other's hands.
They sure did. No fist bumps.
Right.
Yeah. No bro show bumps for those two.
Terrorist fist jabs isn't what? Is that what? That was Obama.
They live
and
for the handshake.
They live for the handshake. That's right. And Ryan, new Epstein reporting from Dropsite.
Yes. Yesterday, the House voted almost unanimously, right, to force the administration to release Epstein files. That fight moves over to the Senate at Dropsite.
Not the first time that's happened.
Yes. We have new reporting that is.
Hey, Anon. There's one rule in here. Don't be bitchy. That's my job. Yes, because an improv guy doing improv stuff is exactly like spending money on CGI to give a film a message that matches up perfect with Hollywood politics. Or does it? Think about that. Think about that before you get all pretentious in my comments, you son of a gun. I love you, buddy.
Difficult to describe without like a lunatic, but it's all based in real documents and correspondence between Epstein and others, and we'll break some of that down. The media continues to find its blinders on when it comes to trying to figure out what it was Epstein did for a living.
It's great for Dropsite.
They just can't figure it out. Like, it's such a mystery.
They're leaving it wide open for you guys.
Let's not look in the documents and in the correspondence to figure it out, because who can say what he did?
It's too tough.
Who could say?
Who would want to do that level of journalism, right?
We could say, stick around, we'll talk.
I know you're just saying, I'm busting your balls. I get triggered when people are cunty, but I'm also very cunty. So no, I get triggered when people do things that I do constantly. It's all love, brother. I appreciate you being here.
About that. The economy continues to be in a very confusing state of like stasis and collapse at the same time. We'll talk about.
God damn it! But this, you know what? This is my autism though, because it's like, well, if Tim Robinson gets to do it, just because what? It's improv. Sorry, I'm coming at you I've had lots of coffee. I'm not like coming at you like that. But to be fair, if Tim Robinson gets to do it, why doesn't the guy making the horror movie get to do it? You know what I mean? I'm just saying. You know what I mean? Like, when you go into movies, I'm really not yelling at you. I apologize. This is just how I'm Italian. Can you guys whenever I do things like this, I'm Italian. I'm using the Andrew Cuomo defense. I'm just fucking Italian. Fuck, dude. No one ever lets a motherfucker be Italian in the room. What is debate and weapons? I've been talking about it forever. Foxtrot, you can go watch the replay. I appreciate your interest. I will be clipping it up, so you could just, if you want to wait, I will just actually clip it up and post it later today, probably. But I'm just saying, when you go into things, this is all I ask people to do, because this is what I realized you got to do when you consume art and you can squeeze out the most enjoyment from it. Because you can't like here's the thing about rules in art is the rules. Now, obviously there's rules to a degree where it's from the sense of like, it's like if I went, Pineapple Express is actually a horror movie because there's like violence in it. It's actually a slasher movie. And you're like, well, no, that doesn't actually make any sense. Like when it comes down to categorizing shit, because you need to categorize shit to have clearer conversations about it. But when it comes to like, why do you can't do that in a movie? You can't do, well, no, you can literally do anything. It's just a matter of like, why did that happen? And then you sit back and you process that and you decide if it gives it worth or not to you. You know what I mean? So, and that's up to you. That's up to you. And to me, I will completely acknowledge, I will completely acknowledge there's a solid argument to say that the gun in weapons is dumb. But when I take the fact that 98%, like that is like 0.5% of the movie, when 99.5% of the movie fucking rips, I then give the thing that's weird and random and confusing more time to process and more of a pass. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because that's what people do. That's what people do is you're like subconsciously looking for the dog shit because you're uncomfortable that it's so good. And so like you see the fucking gun and you go like, well, and you harp on that way more than you harp on the fact that most of the movie rips pretty hard. That's all I'm fucking saying. Is go into art going like, what did they want to give? What were they trying to give me or tell me? Because that's the thing. That's why it's like anyone who wants to talk about art, I really, really implore you to try to make some of it. And it's not to be like, yeah, because then you'll realize you fucking suck at it and then you'll stop being no, it's not even on some shit like that. It's a thing of like, once you make art, you start to like understand the process more and like what's going through your head more. And you start understanding what it means to you. What does this thing mean to me? And like, why am I doing this? Because a lot of people who are artists, they don't feel comfortable. And like normal society doesn't make sense to them a lot. They don't feel comfortable in it. They feel fucking weird. And you have these weird feelings. And then you do something where it's like, you write a song. Like a lot of times musicians they'll take their pain and then they'll write a song. And then that song helps them like cope and go through the pain. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all this, and it's the same thing he was doing with that. So it's just, it'll make you look at that stuff. It'll make you look at that stuff and think about it different. Picking up the pieces. I'm going to guess some people think weapons shouldn't be classified as horror movie or vice versa. No, we're not talking about that. I think it's fair to call it a horror movie. Psychologically, there is a reason. I'm not saying that rules state there must be a reason, but a director has a reason for doing what they do, nonsensical as it may be. That's kind of what I was trying to get at, I think, is because I've heard people talk about that, and there are a lot of people who truly believe that like the universe gives them the art that they're doing. So when you kind of consider that, it's like, you get these feelings to do a certain type of thing and you're not exactly sure why. So it's like, I think too, also, if you think about, if you understand that there's a lot of shit going on in our subconscious, like a lot of us do a lot of things and we don't know why we do them. It's just because you had some trauma as a kid and that's how you're programmed. So the same applies to, making shit like that. So like, even if because that's the other thing you have to consider. And I understand too, sometimes this stuff sounds like you're making excuses, but it all is real and genuine in my opinion. But it's like, sometimes you also have to just consider like, it's like maybe he truly doesn't know why it's there, but also there's something in it, that's powerful enough where he's like, I gotta put it there. So like, then there is an actual meaning to it, but it's more subconscious and not obvious. You know what I mean? When you say the stuff earlier that it's like, oh, it matches up with Holly weird politics. And like, even that, you're like, I don't even necessarily know if it does. Because honestly, it's like it's a movie about kids in school disappearing. And if it's a thing of like, this is because also too, you got to understand it's like during a dream. So like go back to like The Sopranos when Tony's having all those dreams. I don't know if you guys watch The Sopranos, but there's big chunks where like Tony's having dreams, and those dreams clearly mean stuff, but they're like presented in a weird abstract way to sort of represent a dream. And this too, in and of itself, could be like an abstract way to present it. Like it's in the middle of Josh Brolin's dream. So it's like dreams make sense, but they don't. It's like everyone always says that when they're talking about a dream. They're like, yeah, you were there, but like it wasn't you. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, because they have to set up shot for the angle, direct the actors and tell them that they'll see and put it all in CGI work, which is man hours at union rates versus letting improv people improv. Yeah, no, I mean, it's still kind of like, I don't know if I'd die on this hill, but like, I get what you're saying. Like, you're just telling me like one had a lot more work into it. It's like saying like, it's like if two people built the same house. It's like if two people built this, like they're both making movies. You know what I mean? They're both making visual mediums. One guy decided to put a fucking ton of work into it. The other guy decided to improv. You're still making a movie. You know what I mean? Like I'm in a house. If the guys did the house over the weekend versus one guy built it over a year, you're still making a house, So it's like, I mean, in my opinion, the analogy still stands. Let me spend this money to film a scene that I have no idea why I did it. Is it though? Like, honestly, like, what's funny? Like, I'm not even per se defending the scene like it was great. I'm just on principle. The arguments you guys are making where you go, let me spend this money to film a scene that I have no idea why I did it. Is it though? Or do you guys, I'm not coming at you. I'm just trying to make arguments. Or do you guys just lack whimsy? Do you guys just, you know what I mean? Do you guys lack faggy artistic whimsy? Like, have you guys ever put yourself in that place where you let yourself be a full-blown Frieza and just really be a artsy-fartsy Frieza? Like, maybe you guys just need to loosen up and let yourself go full Frieza because there's a whole spectrum of things to enjoy. I do it all the time. I know you guys know me as the big, manly man, locked in, just absolute Brit. This is what everyone says about me. They're like, Big Red, the brick shit house, the epitome of manliness, da-da-da-da-da. Brother, sometimes Big Red lays back and just lets himself be a full Frieza. And like you just get to appreciate, you get to read stuff like the Paris Review. Oh, it's lovely. It's a fun time. You get to buy books. You get to buy books about Andy Warhol. You get to buy books about modern art. It's lovely. Maybe you guys just need to be a little more whimsical, like Big Red. And us sitting talking here about it is part of the reason I think he did it. Get people talk. Exactly. That's the other part of it. You know what I mean? Aside from the film being great, there's just another anecdote to talk about. May or may not have made pain art, subconscious, hell of a drug. Dreams, yeah, fair enough. Dreams don't mean anything sometimes, or they are super abstract and are hard to decipher. That too. What the fuck are we talking about? Whimsy. Well, I'm a Kubrick head. That's probably why I'm stuck on this. Well, even how dare you say? I'm just saying. I'm the one being the faggiest here. Maybe you're just not built to be Frieza enough. Maybe you're just not built like me, dude. But no, yeah, I'm a Kubrick head. That's probably why I'm stuck on this. Yeah, but also Kubrick was also a psycho who was a huge fucking dickhead. You know what I mean? Like Kubrick fucking tortured a woman so she could shriek properly. You know what I mean? Like Brother, I'll fucking fly to your house and take you on a lovely fucking date, you little bitch. Oh my God, I'll build memories with you, pussy. But yeah, Kubrick, if we want to talk more again, I got The Shining right there. You know what I mean? Like, that's the other dude. You want to talk about, don't get me, I'm a Kubrick head, but I'm not a Kubrick head. I like Kubrick, but also fuck Kubrick. Like, legit, fuck Kubrick between his tits. Because he does that fucking bullshit where he goes, well, like, these actors couldn't possibly just act, the thing I hired them for. I have to psychologically torture them for an entire movie so I can get a woman to shriek properly who's a trained actress. And then when the actual movie fucking comes out, everyone's going to point out that her acting was weird. And it's like, yeah, it's probably because she was in the middle of being tortured. So if we're going to talk about what's necessary and not necessary, Kubrick was he was one of those fucking dickheads who was like, I have to make the set an absolute fucking nightmare and do 75,000 takes and do a bajillion reshoots. And you go, yeah, I don't know if all that was necessary. So just saying, if we're going to talk about, necessary, subjective. Anyway, I will fucking fly to you and take you on that goddamn date. And we'll buy matching fucking shirts. The dude was literally obsessed with perfection. That's his dumb reason. Yeah, but also the perfection guys, those dudes who are obsessed with perfection, they're just dudes with fucking huge egos. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing about art. When he was making The Shining, he had a bajillion amazing takes. You know what I'm saying? And then but I'm more obsessed with the whole fucking getting me Kubricked up. I like that a lot. No, I'm more obsessed with but the thing I harp on Kubrick for is the fact that he's like, there's a lot of people out there that go, takes pressure to make a diamond. And it's like, yeah, but you don't have to torture your staff. You know what I mean? It's like the fucking, and I'm a fan of his, but who's the chef? Not Bourdain. Gordon Ramsay. It's like the Gordon Ramsay argument, which I will say, a lot of people, not to get Slav worked up, but he was a Jew. Well, Slav knows to not comment like that, or he's getting kicked out of here again. Because he reached his limit. You can only talk about the Jews like that 1,000 times on my stream before you get fucking booted. And no, my thing with Kubrick is, yeah, he did all that shit where it's like, no, I get, like, that's the thing too, where like Kubrick's movies rip and they look great. Well, I don't know. I gotta watch them again. I watched a bunch back in the day. I gotta watch them again because I gotta be honest too. Like the acting's always like hit or miss for me in some of them. Like I was watching The Shining again. I go, I don't know. I don't even know if I like this act, but they look unreal. Like I'll give Kubrick that every day of the fucking week. That's so funny. Slav white knuckling his keyboard right now. No, I'll give Kubrick that every day of the fucking week. I don't know. Our cat has anxiety. My wife took our cat to the vet and he has anxiety. I'll give Kubrick props for his fucking shots were unreal. But like, yeah, man, I don't know. Did Eyes Wide, like I saw Eyes Wide Shut. It was a great movie. Did they need to take over a year or however long it was to shoot it? I go, probably not. It's like I watched this documentary about Bruce Springsteen and he was like, yeah, Born to Run took us 6 months to write or something like that. And it's like, brother, you had 90 good versions of the song. You're just overthinking it. That's what it is. A lot of it is like overthinking. You know what I mean? Like, and that's yeah. But I Kubrick fucking rules. Yeah, Slav got 109 chances. Exactly, Dunbar. Kubrick, I don't want to get it twisted. Kubrick fucking rules. But people go like, oh, this is the standard of how you make a movie. And I go, no, I've seen a lot of amazing movies that I like more than Kubrick's that he didn't spend a full year torturing his cast. Like that whole bullshit, fuck out of here on that for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I like Gordon Ramsay, but the fucking over yelling at people, it's like, stop. This is stupid. Kubrick had a hardcore photography and cinematography background. The point of his movies were less about the acting and more of the background. And that's fine. But like, just because you work super duper fucking hard, if the acting's not good, I'm not gonna like hold you up as my favorite. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm trying to say is like, people always go like, they always try to tell you how much work was put into it, which is fair and people should get acknowledged for that. But it's not like, sometimes it's like, yeah, but was it good? And like Kubrick shit is good, and sometimes the acting sucks. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, but you don't understand. He had to, fine. But like, it's about the end result as much as it is about the process. But you didn't see the real cut of Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, but well, we talked about that on No More Heroes when that was still a thing. We talked about that where like, damn, I'm gonna watch some Kubrick today. I will say this. I love Kubrick. I think Kubrick's very talented. I think some of his movies are kind of slow. I think he's I think he was very talented. I got a real thing for the whole like these old school directors that thought like, we should assault the women to get like a good performance, and we should like torture people, and we should like fuck with them, and we should put the whole cast in danger at all times. That's how you get a good performance. And you're like, or you just hire good actors that can pretend really well. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know, man. Like, I think Tarantino's an amazing director that gets great performances out of people. I never heard stories of like, yeah, and then he fucking hit a dead fish and in Leonardo DiCaprio's fucking boot or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and also, I've talked about it before. I don't think Kubrick showed. I think a lot of people make a lot of that Kubrick conspiracy because, like, you know what? I'm gonna learn more about. I talked a lot of shit about Kubrick today. I'm gonna look more into Stanley Kubrick and really fine tune my critique of him. I'm gonna watch more movies. I'm gonna fine tune my critique because I feel like I'm valid on a lot of this, but I feel like I might be just, that thing people do when they know a medium amount of information and you actually feel more confident talking shit because you know a medium amount of information. Because I don't think I'm gonna like learn a bunch and go like, oh, Kubrick's actually like a cool dude. No, I think he was like a retard of a dude, but like he made crazy good shit. But no, I always like when we were talking Eyes Wide Shut, to go to what Anon was saying, when we were talking about Eyes Wide Shut on No More Heroes, my like when people go like, do you think the Illuminati killed Kubrick? My first point is to go like, look at this guy's fucking face and tell me this fucking guy can't die randomly from a heart attack in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? So like, we'll start there. That's square one. Is this guy can totally just die in the middle of the night. 1000%. And then if you think about it with like, because the there we go. Because Kubrick was obsessed with like secret societies and their rituals, but a lot of those rituals are literally like sacrificing a goat or like sacrificing a baby and shit like that. And they're like, they didn't want to show the ritual and expose it and this and that. And I'm like, I don't know if man's fucking. He did a whole scene, like he just did a whole scene where he showed him sacrificing like a baby or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he's putting the weird shit in the movie. And like people always say like, well, why'd he cut 20 minutes out of his movie? He's cut 20 to 40 minutes out of every fucking movie he's made. So like everything that happened with Eyes Wide Shut, there's like, it's just because Kubrick died right after it. And like, also, yeah, yes, like, I think a lot of people, and I'm not saying this about you, Anon, I feel like you've watched Eyes Wide Shut, but I think a lot of people who talk about the Kubrick Eyes Wide Shut conspiracy, I don't think they've ever actually watched Eyes Wide Shut. Because whenever people talk about it, they frame it like, oh, Eyes Wide Shut is a movie exposing the ultra elite and all their weird shit. And I go, nah, that's like one, like the rich sex party and like that ritual is a chunk of Eyes Wide Shut. But the movie way more is about the different. It basically showcases the different aspects of like the sexual experience, all the different versions of it, where it's like cheating, and then it's like sex with your spouse, and then it's like picking up a hooker, and then but he goes full extreme because dude had an interest, as do I, with like the secret societies and stuff. But like, you know, it's I just, and also too, like logistically, I just don't know if it's there like that. But yeah, I don't put anything past the Illuminati, but I don't see it like that. But wait, what is this? But that in and of itself is pretty retarded for presenting a Hollywood movie. Are you still talking about? I forget what that was in reference to. I saw Space Odyssey and I thought it was like overrated personally. Well, and that's the problem with Kubrick. Is you're afraid to be like, yo, this kind of sucks. Like it happened to me. Actually, funny enough, fucking I remember this was like back in the day when we were all still fucking miking, and we were all doing fucking mics, and it was like, I don't know if you guys are all old enough, but you remember when like Facebook, it was more like people were like way more active, and like people our age were active and talking on Facebook. And I watched the show. I remember I watched, and I was just the guy who was like, I'm gonna put every fucking opinion I have out in there. And you know, I watched The Shining. I gave a long, detailed explanation about why I didn't like it. I thought I was making fair arguments, and I just got a bunch of people being like, "You're a fucking retard," but not actually making an argument. And it's because it's just assumed that Kubrick's the pinnacle of film creation because the techniques he was doing visually were fucking crazy. Like, if you go back and watch Space Odyssey visually, it's fucking unreal. But as a whole, everyone's afraid to be like, yo, Kubrick shit is boring. And like, because people fucking attack you. Because it's like, you know, it's here's the reality of it is there's a lot of art and there's a lot of artists that just you can see, and they give you a personality. You know, they give you a sort of like way of being, and they give you like a structure of how shit is. And Kubrick does that for a lot of people. Kubrick does that. You go, you like Kubrick? You are a knowledgeable film enjoyer. You really know your shit about films. If Kubrick's your guy, you really know your shit about films. And you know, and you can just and everyone kind of agrees with you because there's a lot of amazing shit about Kubrick. But it's like, God forbid someone has a real emotion and goes, yeah, they look amazing, but his movies are kind of boring sometimes. And like, dude, even with, I loved Eyes Wide Shut. Eyes Wide Shut is slow. You know what I mean? But it's all that fucking shit. No, a movie can't be slow. You're just fucking dumb. No, I think your movie's slow. I think your movie's fucking slow. You know what I mean? But that being said, I'm just talking about, I might be a complete dumbass because I don't know if I've watched enough Kubrick, but it's also because I've watched a couple Kubricks and they like don't, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this is the craziest looking thing in the world. That takes you like half hour to 45 minutes. You know what I mean? But then after a certain point, you're like, I'm here for a story, man. You know what I mean? I don't know. And even me saying this right now, it's like you have this worry of just everyone's going to assume you're fucking retarded because no one wants to grapple with your argument and admit some shit. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is that serious no, everything about art we should scream about. I don't know what you're talking about. Art is meant to be screamed about. Yeah, I love Gordon Ramsay. I don't understand. He just had to torture people sometimes. Acting is hit or miss. You think a director can control that? He die while filming Eyes Shut? No, he died while editing Eyes Wide Shut. Yeah, oh yeah, Full Metal Jacket does fucking rock. I'll give him that one. What's the new naming scheme for YouTube? Oh, is that how it's like? Dude, I noticed I noticed like the YouTube shit changed. Where if you click on it, it's like, yeah, I noticed it on the phone app. Like clicking on people's profiles was like different. I don't know, man. These fucking apps where they just go like, hey, it's been 6 months. You want to completely change the setup? I appreciate guys doing everything you can do to make his vision happen the way he sees it, but that doesn't mean you're not a dickhead. Yeah. Yeah. My whole it's like, dude, it's like, here's my thing. Actually, that correlates really well to my point about Gordon Ramsay is like, I disagree with Gordon Ramsay's methods, but at the end of the day, I go, you want to work in his kitchen? You know what I mean? Get fucking yelled at. And it's like the same thing with Kubrick. It's like, you want to get fucking, you know, you want to work on Kubrick's movie. Welcome to Guantanamo. I just go like, you know, because I think that happens too with people who get, you know, respected like that is no one feels confident enough to critique them. So you start getting these like wacky things. It's like Kanye. Kanye wanted to be fucking who he is now from the jump, but he couldn't get away with it the same way and still have people pay attention to him. So it's like that's why Kanye going crazy like he has been was a slow build, because no one wants to like. Everyone's afraid to actually say some real shit about him, and then on top of that, they're going to be so successful that they won't take you seriously. Kubrick also smoked cigarettes like fucking crazy. Well, that I do respect him for. I smoke cigarettes like crazy. Yeah, no, that's the cool thing about Kubrick. I remember growing up, I was 100% convinced The Shining was a cryptic metaphor for the moon landing being a hoax because I watched some stupid conspiracy documentary. Yeah, that one's really funny too because, well, that's the other thing about Kubrick. Well, that's the other thing too is like you see all this shit and they're like, you know, he's trying to say this and this and that, and then if you if you look up the shit, it'll be like, you know, they did this because that's the distance from the moon, from the Earth to the moon. I know that was a big one I always saw about The Shining. And then if you look into that one, it's actually like, well, here's the thing. It's not. You know, and there's actually a really good Y-Files video about Kubrick and the moon. That actually breaks down a lot of those. But yeah, a lot of the ones with Kubrick and the moon, they're not. Is this it? Is this the ending? Yeah, forget what there was a bunch of shit. Whatever. It's gonna be too annoying to try to figure out the right point. But yeah, there was a bunch of shit with Kubrick and the moon and The Shining that just seemed like I think Kubrick was a fan of the moon. I think he was a fan of the moon and space and stuff. Space Odyssey just looks cool. Space Odyssey is cool as fuck looking. Yeah, I've yet to finish Space Odyssey. Keep falling asleep. Exactly. But like, you have to feel like a fucking retard if that's what happens. You know what I mean? If the thing happens that if what happens that happened to everyone happens to you, you're actually a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Wait, let me update these titles because if I update the titles in real time. Oh yeah. No, if I update these titles in real time, it just makes my job easier later when I re-upload this shit to iTunes. Which, by the way, boys, if you ever miss any part of the stream, you can always check it out later on iTunes. Can always check it out later on iTunes. Drag the Lake. We will be posting daily shows. So if you ever miss a stream, you can go over there. I'll be posting clips too on the YouTube, all that kind of stuff. Read a few biographies about Kubrick and I learned a bit. What were those, by the way? I would love to read a book about Kubrick. Please comment below your favorite one, Cell Rat, or all of them if that. I would love to check out a Kubrick book. When I watched The Shining, the first thing I caught was the carpet pattern. Oh, yeah, the carpet was very similar to the moon. Sup, my fellow fisters, who wants a shot at my butt? We all do, Culp. Everyone would love to fuck your butt. And that's because I watched Dr. Sleep first by mistake and not knowing they tied together. Yeah, Dr. Sleep's pretty cool. It's pretty good. It doesn't hit as cool as The Shining. It's not as stylistic as The Shining, but it's worth watching. It's a cool YouTube doc about The Shining that goes into all the conspiracies and weird shit. I think it's called Room 237. Oh, yeah, I think I heard about that. But yeah, brother, let me know about the fucking Kubrick books. I genuinely... here we go. Oh, look, here it is. Ooh, maybe we do a movie night. That'd be a fun fucking watch. Damn, when did that come out? Oh, wow. 2012. Oh, yeah, now I can listen and stay rock hard. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brother. Fuck yeah. Yeah, anybody, this is a good time. I've been yapping for almost 2 hours and I haven't fucking begged for money yet. Guys, if you're of that persuasion and you're on Twitch, please consider subscribing. You can subscribe with your own money, or if you got an Amazon Prime. If you got an Amazon Prime, you can subscribe there. It's a good fucking time. Thank you all for the chatting. If you're on YouTube, give me a like. Give me a like, a share, whatever. You guys know how it goes. Do I have super chats on? I don't know how you do that. Oh, dude, I can do polls. Hell yeah. Just got a poll in the YouTube chat. Are you gay? If there's more no's, I'm going to be pissed. Carpet pattern was basically adrenochrome powder, whatever you call it, in Dr. Sleep. I was convinced Dr. Sleep's about adrenochrome. Like flat out. I don't know if adrenochrome's real, blah, 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 blah. And I got to watch again. You know what? I'm going very confident about one viewing I had about 4 years ago, I think. But Dr. Sleep's about adrenochrome. Like, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's about adrenochrome. 100%. Stephen King was writing about adrenochrome. Or he wasn't, didn't realize it. What the fuck? Did someone say no to their get? God damn it. Are there straight motherfuckers in my Twitch chat or in my YouTube chat? I'm pissed. Here we go. Dude, that's crazy. 33% yes, 67% no. Insane. That's fucked up. Yeah, I love seeing how many people are in the YouTube chat. I gotta see how to turn on. Oh shit. Oh, my fault. Damn it. Oh fuck. I'm sorry, YouTubers. Here, wait. Sorry, didn't mean to play that ad. Fuck. I'm trying to find like the super chat buttons here on YouTube. And oh shit, I can do stream markers. Oh, cool. That's actually really fucking cool because then I can throw in I can that's easier for clips later. Cause yeah, I'm trying to like clip this shit up. And you know, just let people fucking know. But damn, it's so cool seeing how many people are watching on YouTube. You need more than 500 subscribers to get YouTube chats. We have I think we have like almost 1,500 on the YouTube. 1.46K on YouTube. So we have the numbers. I think it's a thing I have to like go turn on somewhere. I think I have to turn it on in the monetization area. Hell yeah. Oh, you know what? I got to update my tax information. That's probably why it's not letting me do super chats. Yeah, YouTube doesn't let you do shit about that until you like give them the right tax info. Okay, I'll get that set up eventually. But yeah, man. Yeah, the fact that like there's been like 6 to 8 people on the YouTube is very cool. I'm really upset about these gay numbers. I really thought there was more gay guys in my chat than this. This is have I tried wooing the super chats? No, I haven't tried wooing them. That might turn them on. What documentary are you sending me, brother? Something from Nothing, The Art of Rap. Oh, shit. This might actually be... Damn. Yo, good looking out. I might watch this later. I've been trying to watch more documentaries. There we go. So what was I saying? Yeah, if you're on Twitch, Amazon Prime, please consider subscribing. Or if you're just feeling randy, please consider subscribing. If you're on Twitch and you haven't already, go to the YouTube channel, hit the follow there. You know, well, you guys are on Twitch, so you're probably having a gay old time over on Twitch, but I'll just throw it in the chat. For all the people on Twitch, that's the YouTube if you ever want to watch over there. I mean, that's good stuff. Runaway. That's a good, wholesome joke. Andy is more interested in soup or chats. I literally had soup. Last night. The Stands documentary? No, what's that? Let's watch a trailer for that. I'm looking for content. Stands documentary. Oh, that's the Eminem one. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's check this out. Stands Paramount. Interesting. All right, let's check this. Let's check this documentary out.
Why did you write the song Stan?
Is Stan based on a real fan?
Why do you share so much about yourself in your music?
What the hell goes on in your brain?
Yo, not to bring this up again, but Eminem had the gall to, and you guys know me, I'm no Machine Gun Kelly fan. Fuck that guy. But he had the gall to say weird beard. Wasn't that him? Weird beard. Oh yeah, Machine Gun Kelly said weird beard, and then he was like weird beard. Oh, look at this guy. He's crazy saying weird beard. No, dude. Let your shit go gray. It's crazy how in the last decade your hair got darker. Well, I mean, I guess he was bleach blonde, but it looks unnaturally dark. I'm just saying. Or maybe we're just... Well, no. Beard's been there the whole time. Marshall. But either way. Anyway.
Do you feel like the X you've had is like we hope it will be?
What's it like being famous?
seen anything like Eminem fans.
The song stands about an obsessed fan who's taking my too literal.
I had to look in the mirror and be like, am I one of these crazy stans?
I would say that I'm a stan when I was 11. I remember dressing up. I sprayed my hair yellow.
I do.
That's so funny. His redheaded ass, because I didn't do the exact same thing, but I was a huge Eminem fan and I begged my parents to let me bleach my hair. And then my parents were like, all right, if you wanna. They were supportive. And then we went to the lady who cut our hair, the hairdresser at the time, and she was like, I'll do this. She was like a family friend, so she could be a little bit more blunt and real with us. But she was like, I'll do this. But she's like, Andrew, your hair will look the color of piss. And I go, I'm like a middle school kid. Like, well, I don't want my hair to look like piss. I guess I won't bleach it like Eminem. So she saved me from this picture you desperately want to see, this embarrassing picture you desperately want to see. She saved me from that.
Yellow.
I do have an addiction to Eminem.
I traveled the world for him.
Without Eminem, I wouldn't have the life I have right now.
I've lost a lot of people, but the one thing that got me through all those losses has been Eminem.
And I looked up to him. Eminem helps me.
Your music is saving my life.
What's your first question?
Interesting. Yeah, and then it ends with Eminem seems like he's fucking mad about it. But that's probably like the way they're presenting it. I bet Eminem seems like he's a chill dude. Well, no, chill might not be the right word. I don't know if Eminem's a chill dude, but he seems like he's a nice guy who's also just intense. Like, I think that's to me, that's probably the best way. That's probably the best way to describe Eminem. He seems intense. Like he's a lot. He's got a lot going on, and he's just but like if you're down with the intensity, he's probably a fun hang. And he's probably a guy, he seems like a dude who's very appreciative of his fans. He seems like a dude who he definitely like pays attention to him. He definitely pays attention to him and is very, very locked in. He's very locked in on he literally wrote a whole album to go, I'm sorry you guys didn't like that previous album. Eminem is he's probably the epitome of he's the spokesman for reading the comments. Him and Tyler the Creator, I always watch them. I go, damn, it doesn't matter how fucking rich you are, you still read the comments. You know what I mean? It's like these dudes who are 1,000 times more successful than I'll ever be, and I'm like, damn, and they're still just clearly just reading the goddamn comments. It's a fascinating thing that happens. But no, that looks interesting. I might check it out a little bit. I'm not really like locked in. I was obsessed with Eminem back in the day. Like all that shit about how he was back in the day and shit like that and how things were. He was one of the biggest. You know what I mean? He was one of the biggest, and it got people fucking crazy for him. And it was funny. I'm interested to see the type of fans, because there is this thing of like, it's like I noticed it a lot of those bands that appeal to like, you know, the white trashy juggalo adjacent type person. And I honestly, that applies to like most, you know, that could apply to every rate. The whole like the white trash vibe is not exclusive to the honks. That like white trash vibe person, there's always those bands, like not even bands. It's a lot of time it's like rappers, but I feel like I would have like Korn's one of them. Although at this point everyone likes Korn, but it is the like the Logics of the world. Well, Logics are more hype. Logic is like he has the same audience that Mac Miller had, where it's like hype beast with depression. But no, it's more like the audience that like the Suicide Boys or the Juggalos or like ironically Machine Gun Kelly cultivates. And it's this thing where it becomes more than just because Eminem writes music that deals with, you know, personal issues, and he's very direct about it. And then on top of that, his music is actually very good. So it's like it's a real formula to get people obsessed with you, because you get these people who've never had, they've never had someone acknowledge. It's so funny. It's called poor. Yes. My fault. I forgot that word. Yeah, poor people. Poor fucks is what I meant to say. No. But no, it's yeah, it's he's an entity who acknowledges these people's pain, who's never had it acknowledged before. You know what I mean? Because they'll live lives with like toxic people who don't show them the kind of love they need and this and that, and it's like a hectic world, and there's a lot of opportunities for exploitation and all this other shit. So Eminem is like their first dose of someone acknowledging their pain. And like that, when someone finally acknowledges your pain like that, it's like a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal. So yeah, I might check that out. I don't know if that trailer got me like overly excited for it, but I might check it out. Yeah, I got a couple clips. Yeah, let's get that out of here. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I got a couple clips. I don't know if Slav can behave for them though. This one was actually kind of interesting. When's the next Touch Tunes? That's a good question. You know, not today. Not today, but you know what I'll do? One of these streams, because I was like, you guys, I was like, I know you guys are gonna miss the music and stuff, because I don't want to just get rid of the music and shit like that. But I also want to focus on streaming on YouTube every day and this and that. But you know what? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe we do it tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I get a good night's sleep. Maybe tomorrow I get a good night's sleep. And I get ready for like a 4-hour stream. And then we hop on. I go on to, we do YouTube and Twitch for an hour or two. And then we do another hour or two. We do some Touch Tunes. So I was thinking about that. How about we do that? I think that'll be, no. Stop telling me what to do. You can ask questions. Don't tell me to do TikTok. I don't know why that bothers me. You go do TikTok. You know what it is? We've had this conversation already. Most dope doesn't let new information affect how he maneuvers through the world. We've had this conversation already. Stop telling me to do TikTok. Smoked turkey. I'm getting my wife. What are you guys' Thanksgiving plans? I'm getting my wife to because I gotta be honest. Yeah, what's everyone's Thanksgiving plans? Or what are you guys eating for Thanksgiving? That's what Slav was asking. What are the food plans for all right, chill, dude. God damn it. I gotta read your comments before I pull them up on screen, you psycho. We're doing smoked turkey. I'm doing what are you? Oh wait. Oh shit. Nope. Don't want to. I'm not trying to block that. What are you doing? Working? Kill me. Hell yeah. Was St. Ivan's eating ass for Thanksgiving? Let's go, boys. I'm ordering Chinese food. I fully fucking support. Honestly, I might do that as well. Cause my plan each day needs its own focus. Yeah, that's kind of vaguely what we're trying to do here. But what are you having for Thanksgiving? You're gonna stir the pot and get in my parents. These are Slav's plans. Nah, I bet Slav's plans. I feel like Slav. I feel like Slav at Thanksgiving, it's just him and his family around a table pounding it, going, 109 countries, 109 countries. And then they just quote crime statistics. They're like 13% of the population, 50% of the crime. That's all they do. They just quote crime statistics and they say 109 countries. That's their fucking Thanksgiving. Going to my aunts and uncles, I assume turkey and ham fixings. Yeah, no, the reason I asked, those are your plans. You love getting your family worked up. Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes like getting my family worked up, but also sometimes my family is good for an epic spaz. So I don't necessarily always do that kind of shit. Oh man, I got this other thing I want to show you guys, but I want to wait till Pat's here to do this one because it's and I feel like he's gonna have a lot of good shit to throw in on it. But no, the reason I asked is because like I do not like Thanksgiving turkey. And I don't get why we're still doing it. Cause like, I don't know. I think a lot of times people, when it comes to like tradition, at a certain point, you got to reanalyze why you're doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like the tradition of Thanksgiving is get people to get, cause like what it's become, it's a reason to get together, you know, whether you're religious or not, or I don't even know if it's a religious holiday. Yeah. It's not even what am I saying? It's not even a religious holiday, but like, to me, the point of Thanksgiving is just like, it's a reason to like get together and stop for a day, you know, cause life's crazy. Life is a lot and everyone's always going and we need a reason to stop and sit down and enjoy everyone's company. But here's my thing. When I'm enjoying everyone's company, I don't want to eat a fucking Thanksgiving turkey. And also too, like everyone always goes like dry ass. I've had good turkey that's not dry. It's just when you do it Thanksgiving style, like brother, I'll have a turkey sandwich any day of the fucking week. But when you give me this fucking, you know, carved Thanksgiving turkey, it's like, here's my argument on the fucking turkey. And oh yes, and here's a good comment. Smoked turkey is the only way to go. It's never dry. I will always defend like when they do the turkey at barbecue spots. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the way we've all just decided to do Thanksgiving turkey. Yeah, and it's really, I think we need to let the turkey go. I think big turkey is just getting us all locked in on like we have to have a turkey. Because my argument, and I'm not the first to make this argument, but my argument I've always made for the fucking Thanksgiving turkey, I just go like, all right, when else do you eat turkey like that? You know, and I get it. We're down here in Texas. There's a lot of people are gonna go barbecue. They'll get the fucking nice turkey and stuff. But realistically, turkey, but turkey legs, not what I'm talking about. I see you saying it down there. Smoked turkey leg. Everyone wants the dark meat. Just like when I'm horned up, hilarious. You know what I mean? It's like you say that kind of shit, and it's like, yeah, no. But we're not at Thanksgiving. We're not all eating turkey legs. Everyone loves a turkey leg. Everyone loves a turkey leg. But we're not talking about that. That's not what we're talking about when we're talking about Thanksgiving. We're talking about that sliced bullshit. You know, it's the one time you get the carving knife out. You know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, dude, we'll all hit a Ren Fair. We'll all go to the barbecue spot. We'll all get the fucking turkey leg. When else are you doing the carved turkey? When are you ever doing that with your week? When? I'll tell you, fucking never. You know when you're doing it? When like fucking people are trying to be cute and you're like, what if we ate this? And everyone's like, I guess. Put stuffing on my sandwich? That's good. So like, why don't we just drop it? And why don't we fucking, brother? And maybe this is the dirty eye tie in me. Maybe this is the disgusting WAP energy I have. Brother, I think we need a new standard. Spicy Thanksgiving lasagna. And that's the truth. Lasagna is good, but you gotta make it a little hot. Not spicy like Mexican spicy, but just hot. You gotta make it hot. Gotta make it hot. Nothing wrong with Mexican spicy. Shout out all the Mexicans out there. I love your stuff. I've been making tacos all week. Love a good Mexican spicy. But I'm just saying we got to do Thai wop spicy. You know what I mean? Good hot sausage. St. Ivan, calm your fucking roll, dude. You know, if Slav can't do it, you can't either, you son of a bitch. That's our word. But that's just, I'm telling you, dude, lasagna. Lasagna needs to be the new fucking standard, dude, for Thanksgiving. I think it's where it's fucking at. I will say this, lasagna, there's something about Thanksgiving that like lasagna doesn't completely match the aesthetic, but definitely Christmas lasagna. But I did see a comment earlier that all this being said, if I see a goddamn ham at Thanksgiving, you know what I'm fucking doing? I'm eating that goddamn ham. That's a good fucking ham. I'm fucking chowing down on that ham. So yeah, I fuck with ham. And if you're not going to do ham, I really do think like, you know what it is? Like a ham steak just rips. It's got more body and flavor to it. But if you're not going, I mean, have some ham on the side as the protein. Bro, I'm telling you, like, that's where the Itai's got it right, dude. That's where, you know, 1/4 of my people got it right. I'm sorry, not my 1/4 of me, that group of my people. That's what I meant to say. They got it right. Like, there's something about, you know, that's why you got to take from everyone's culture. Because it's like, love a cookout. Want to be invited to the cookout. Love it. But I'm telling you, dude, sometimes you got to peep what the honks are doing. And I'm telling you, dude, there's not one single fucking party in this goddamn universe a Baked Ziti ain't gonna fucking vibe out at. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you. Baked Ziti with some sort of ground meat in it and the fucking cheese melted on top. I'm telling you that's always gonna hit no matter what. That's why you got to see what everyone's doing. You got to see what everyone's doing. And like, dude, now whatever it might be, just some big pasta dish, you know, because realistically, it's like you're around family, you're stressed out, you want to eat a lot, and you want to fucking take a nap by 4 p.m. You know what I mean? It's Thanksgiving. Dinner's at 2. Why? Suck my dick. But no, for real though, it's like, yeah, you want to be napping by 5 at the latest. You want to be napping and having a snooze fest. You want to be snooze con your fucking dick at fucking 5 p.m. at the latest. And what's the best way to do that? Put a big ham steak in me and let me just eat my body weight in stuffed shells. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Ham steak and stuffed shells. Put it in the books. I know, man. It's the fucking best. Ham steak, stuffed shells. Do it now. Sup, Big Red? It's Little Red. Suck Lewis Wiener so I can see you at Skankfest next year. Yo, you were cracking me up because Nate was telling me, he's like, yo, this dude Lil Red is in your stream. And he said you'll know that. And I go, I don't know who Lil Red is. I mean, I appreciate you, but it was cracking me up because it's like, now that I'm even seeing this, I'm like, yeah, you're not in the stream, which is completely fine. I'm not saying like you have to or you should or shouldn't, whatever you want to do. It was just cracking me up because Nate was saying, it's like, yeah, he's always talking. I'm like, I don't know who Lil Red is, but now I do, and now I'm happy for it. I'm happy about it. Such a wop thing to say. Christmas ham is the shit. How dare you guys? That's my word. I was the one who grew up a retarded wop. Never left a couple chats. My man, my fucking dog. Well, I love you, Lil Red. I love you. I wasn't sure who Nate was talking about, but now that I do, I'm happy. I am happier for it. Imagine if Thanksgiving happened on the West Coast instead. What would be our Thanksgiving dinner like? Well, Thanksgiving does happen on the West Coast, most dope. Such a funny what if it happened? Well, it does. So it does happen on the West Coast. Yes, Big Ziti does rule. I might bring a pepperoni pizza dip. Yo, you know what people need to do more? And it's some basic bitch shit. and I don't give a fuck because basic bitch shit is fun. That's why people fucking do it. But brother, give me a fucking buffalo. Maybe I'll make that. Maybe I'll make some fucking buffalo dip because I got big into buffalo dip for a minute. Brother, pepperoni pizza dip sounds so good. Yeah, buffalo dip's where it's at. Then I'm going to try to grill a turkey this year. Collard greens, mac and cheese, stuffing too. That rips. Yeah, stuffing. No, there's a lot of good. Brother, I'll do Thanksgiving dinners about the sides to me because it's always like stuffing, mac and cheese, mashed potatoes. How about a personal 12-pack for those who celebrate Thanksgiving alone? Well, yeah. No, alone with people. I'm grabbing a lot of beers. If you have multiple families, you have to eat all of them, and if you don't, they will hate you for life. Yeah, I appreciate you, God. I'm actually the fucking man. Recently I learned turkey liver stuffing is good as fuck. If you haven't tried it, you should, bro. Yeah, I hear people say good things about liver. I'm gonna wait till I am around someone who knows how to fucking do it. Oh, you meant the Pilgrims. All right, that's fair, most up. I'm sorry, I came at you a little hard on that one. I know Popeye sells turkey, right? Oh, do they? Red chili artichoke dip to be fancy buffalo dip? I've never had red chili artichoke dip. That sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. Roasted red pepper and artichoke dip. We don't need the shitty music for that. That sounds fucking interesting. Oh, and the dude. Oh, a shallot? Dude made it on iMovie too. Okay, so he's got all of his fucking fixing. Oh, man. Oh, okay. So he cooked it off. I don't mind a good spinach artichoke dip, but like my problem is I'm always like the ones I like are always the shitty version that are go easy on the artichokes. So I'm like, I don't even know if I like it. I think I just like whatever fucking cream cheesy thing they put in to make it. Yeah. I think when it comes to spinach artichoke dip, I think I just like cream cheese. I think I'm just a fan of cream cheese. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's spinach artichoke dip, and you throw some red peppers in there. I like that. That's a good fucking move. That's a good move. You know what? I've never seen the main dish at Thanksgiving, seafood. We definitely had smoked salmon and caviar for appetizers. Nice. Nice. That sounds good. Yeah, I don't know. I think it should. I think like. Wait, Popeyes has turkey? Wait, you get a whole turkey at Popeyes? This is where capitalism goes awry. You don't need a full Popeyes doesn't need to be selling full turkeys. Just stick to your thing, man. Preseason fully cooked Cajun style turkey designed to maximum convenience, requiring only thawing and reheating before serving while delivering bold Louisiana style Cajun flavor. Our turkey arrives expertly packaged and delivered straight to your door for a stress-free celebration. Just thaw, heat, and let the compliments come rolling in. The Cajun style turkey feeds 8 to 12 people. Turkey will arrive in 2 to 5 days. We will do our best, but delivery is not guaranteed before Thanksgiving. Well, why the fuck am I getting Popeyes to mail me a turkey? That's hilarious. Hurry, last day to order for Thanksgiving. Oh, okay. So if you set yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I guess they have to put that there legally or whatever the fuck. You know, because people are fucking retarded and will sue you over anything. God. Dude, seeing all the people from Skankfest post their shit. Daddy really wants some red beans and rice. Red beans and rice fucking rips. Damn, I could go for some Popeyes. All this stuff. This just reminds me, people will be like, I don't like coleslaw. And I go, no. You know what? I'm being a little bit of that guy. I'm realizing it. But I don't know, man. Sometimes I do look at it and I go, brother, but I've had such good coleslaw. I think you just need to have the coleslaw. You just have to have the good one I had. The one I will say is I've had very good potato salad, but I've also rarely ever had good potato salad. All right, give me 1 second. I need to take a refresher for a quick minute because the stream's bumping. I don't want to leave, but I do need to take a quick refresher. Let me throw this up.
It really works. The release of all these documents has been a gift in that sense, because it really does open a window into a world that is intended to be kept away from the public.
Right.
Of the people who are actually making the decisions that shape the world that we live in. And we have one of those stories at Drop Site News yesterday. We can put this element up. I recommend everybody go read this if you can. Headline makes you sound like a crazy person. Yeah. Jeffrey Epstein pursued Swiss Rothschild Bank to finance Israeli cyber weapons empire. And yeah, let's pause for a second. I was like, as we're doing the reporting, you report what you have, not what you want. And as we're going through it, I'm like, could he have used a bank other than Rothschild?
Any other bank?
Like, it's like he's trying to make us look like lunatics.
Yep.
The Rothschilds were, for centuries, major financiers in Europe. They really faded over the last, decades and century plus, but are still a dominant financial institution in France and in Switzerland, in particular. And particularly in Switzerland, they are among a bunch of banks that were, in fact, under investigation by the Department of Justice for their willingness to engage in the kind of secrecy that is very helpful to people who are moving drugs, moving weapons, working with sanctioned individuals to finance projects. And Epstein worked with all of those kinds of people. And so this is the kind of bank that is very helpful to them. So I'll go through just some of the reporting here, but 11 days before Epstein was found dead, there was this report in Bloomberg that he had met with Ariane de Rothschild, who is now the CEO of the Edmond de Rothschild Group, which is basically what the bank is called now.
Right.
At the time, the bank is like, it's not true. They had no relationship. Since then, there's been some Wall Street Journal reporting on their relationship that showed that actually there was a little bit of a relationship, so that wasn't quite accurate. What we can show is that the relationship was very, very deep. And just how deep, we'll have some follow-up reporting as well. But for now, what we can say is that when Ehud Barak left as a Minister of Defense in Israel in 2013, he immediately was sought out by European banks as kind of a rainmaker. Like, they knew that he was going to start working with oligarchs all over the world to set up companies, and they wanted to be in the middle of that stream. And so he cuts a deal, I think it was Julius Baer Bank, and Epstein then quickly hears from somebody at the Rothschild Bank saying, just saw that Ehud Barak was scooped up by this competitor, too bad. Because we actually would have liked to work with him, which shows you a bunch of different things, one of which the banking world knew at that time that if they wanted to reach out to Ehud Barak, who was former Prime Minister of Israel, for some type of relationship, the guy to go through was Jeffrey Epstein. At the same time, we report that Rothschild, because they were facing this Department of Justice investigation, needed new counsel. He went out and found an attorney for them. Like, on behalf of the Rothschild Bank, he reached out to Catherine Rumler, who was a top lawyer in the Obama administration, and she ended up representing the bank, and that is a matter of public record. She negotiated a non-prosecution agreement.
She's at Goldman now, and she was also in these conversations that Michael Wolff has released, where there's a public relations strategizing bull session, basically, between Steve Bannon, Michael Wolff, Jeffrey Epstein, and Catherine Rumler.
Right. And so, she was also, Epstein also connected her with Gates when Epstein was trying to build, basically he was trying to, Epstein, it seems like he was trying to take over the Giving Pledge and like move it into a new donor advised fund and be the man behind the strings. That never really completely got off the ground. So then Epstein ends up connecting Barack and Ariane de Rothschild. And we have some just absolutely wild quotes in here. We can put up some of these while I'm talking. You can just kind of roll through the different elements of the emails, and people can pause on those and read them. So in one of the notes, Epstein writes to Ehud Barak a message from Ariane de Rothschild, where he says, he's basically paraphrasing Ariane. She says to Ehud, if Ehud wants to make serious money, he will have to build a relationship with me. Take time so that we can truly understand one another, unquote. And so then Barack says he's going to defer to Epstein, and you're going to love why. I'm ready, he wrote, but I need your advice re how. Ladies is your forte.
Can't argue that.
He then gives him some advice that is actually, pretty decent. He's like, just be dependable and reliable, and show up when you're supposed to show up, and this will work for her. And so they spend the next couple months and years kind of building this relationship. What Epstein basically wants to do is to create a fund of funds that will create a vehicle that will allow all sorts of money from outside to flow through the Swiss bank and then finance Ehud Barak's growing empire of cyber weapons companies, which they don't call them cyber weapons when they're talking directly to Rothschild, but when they're talking to each other, they're talking about offensive cyber operations. And read the story to get all the different details of it. But Barack, over the years, does end up building some of the key critical cyber technology, both offensive and defensive, that exists today, and including some of the companies that are everywhere in the entire backbone of our internet today. So it's hard to overstate just how influential Epstein and Barack were in building kind of the cyber world that we have today. You can look up Guardicore or Akamai. So Guardicore was a company that was later acquired by Akamai, which is AKA MAI, and has since been integrated into basically the world's largest content delivery system. They got their stuff in everywhere, and they're constantly working with the Israeli intelligence apparatus, which is incubating all of these ideas, and then they flow up to Barack, and then financed and kind of developed then by Epstein. And so they really made our world in a significant way.
And they're doing it again just so casually over their emails.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that in the emails sometimes he will say, "This is too hot for email." I know. You call me. So what we're able to report now is just what he was willing to talk about on email.
Right. He
knew that he's like, this is an open email. We can't talk about X.
Right.
So all this other stuff he's fine talking about. So it's like, then you're like, okay, what was he doing on those calls, and what was he doing in person? He's like, we need to talk about this in person, and that'll be the subject, I think, of some of our future articles here, because there are ways that you can piece together what he's been up to.
I mean, what you guys are already doing with that is incredible. Yeah. And
just one other piece, and then go ahead. Meanwhile, Rothschild also had a tax problem going on.
Right.
In Israel.
Yeah.
Which Epstein, helped her navigate as well.
Right.
So so people are like, what does this guy do?
Right.
He's doing this kind of thing.
And Ehud Barak was doing this on a Gmail, if I'm not mistaken. Larry Summers was doing this on a Gmail. It's all going back and forth on a
Bolt
Gmail.
on an AOL.
Yeah. I mean, it's just remarkable for, first of all, how stupid that is, but also to see how cavalier they are about not national security, literally global security. And just they're going around making money off of it, changing the world like it's nothing. The job site reporting has been an incredible window, and you guys are adding a lot of great context to make it easy to digest too. So if you're not reading this stuff, you absolutely have to.
Yeah, go enjoy it.
Go get it. Yep.
You don't enjoy it, you're like, oh Jesus, wow. But man, and some of the money did come through, but not. We don't know exactly for what. But there was a $25 million investment that Epstein was able to get through involving Rothschild. We're still piecing all of this together. So yeah, wild stuff.
Wild stuff.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.
A good friend of MBS's, by the way, was financier and sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein.
Wow.
Jeffrey Epstein was the subject of a vote yesterday in the House of Representatives. We can roll a Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has now been denounced by President Trump, embraced by some Democrats, held a press conference with Epstein victims outside of Congress. Here's Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free. I won my first election without his endorsement, beating 8 men in a primary. And I've never owed him anything, but I fought for him for the policies and for America first. And he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me. And I want to tell you that this only became possible today because the American people, whom we serve as representatives here in Congress, demanded that this vote happen, and they put more pressure on every single elected politician in this city than has ever been put on them. And today you are going to see probably a unanimous vote in the House to release the Epstein files. But the real fight will happen after that.
So I think, Emily, that's true, that the public did put enormous pressure on these representatives, including by electing, Adalita Grijalva and getting 218 signatures on the discharge petition and forcing Trump's hand to the point where he said, just everybody should just vote for it at this point. Is that right, you think? That this was a real kind of a rare dub for the people?
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think so. People may remember before the August recess, on this show, I covered talking to a bunch of Republican congressmen on the Hill. It was just a couple of days before recess. And I was asking them, are you expecting to get questions about Epstein? Because at the time, Trump's line, and he's still using this now to some extent, but his line was, this is all a distraction. This is a Democrat hoax to get you to, not focus on the one big beautiful bill and all of that. And I actually didn't get that response from Republican congressmen that I talked to who were saying, no, we fully expect to hear from our constituents about Jeffrey Epstein. And so I think that's exactly what happened. I think Trump learned that it wasn't going anywhere. The issue wasn't going anywhere. He saw that, could not control the people like Marjorie Taylor Greene going all over media. It just would not die away. And I think Trump believed he had more control over the base. And he does have a lot of control over the base. But this is an issue that just absolutely embodies what people see as the swamp, and that you can't kind of hand wave it away. And so while people may be willing to like bend over backwards and exonerate Donald Trump and say, well, he's nothing to do with Epstein, they are not willing to do that with Epstein overall. Say, go away, like this doesn't matter. And so I think genuinely, their Republicans realized it wasn't just Marjorie Taylor Greene going on, all like The View. It was actually also that you had congressmen saying we're going to have to vote for this discharge petition. We can't be voting against this discharge petition. And I think when Trump realized where the numbers were going, it was a cost-benefit analysis. He was like, well, the cost of whatever comes out is worth the benefit to these guys of having to take the vote at this point.
Yeah, and for Trump to hold on this long really makes you wonder, like, what is he worried about is in there? Because he knows better than anybody that for years the Republican base was told the world government is being run by a secret cabal of predator pedophiles. Then you catch one, and you're told, well, never mind.
Right.
Like, that's not going to fly.
Right. No, and it didn't.
If you hadn't spent years telling them that they were run by a cabal of pedophiles, then maybe you catch one pedophile who's in the cabal, and you can get away with like, never mind.
Sorry, I meant to have a smoother transition out of that. All right, sorry about that, guys. Wife came home and we she had to take the cat to the vet because we were worried he had some like weird skin condition. He was like, we had a weird thing going on where he would have like random, he was like twitching a little bit, and then my wife was worried because he got like a scab on his head. And he got like a scab on his head that he like picked open, and then we found and then my wife was worried he might have like a skin condition, which makes sense because of the scab and stuff like that. Makes sense because of the scab and shit like that. So she took him to the vet. Found out he's like 3 now. So he's like 3 now, and sorry, I'm trying to talk and read your comments at the same time. Oh, Fisher's in the chat. What up, Fisher? Can't confirm they are bomb turkeys. Had it last 2 years. Nice. Oh, I work at a warehouse that whole. Oh, those turkeys I was talking about earlier. That's funny. I was sad I didn't get a pic with Louise, but I took one of him when I watched the set. Nice. Women hate when I eat imitation crab that you buy at the grocery store. Women love to hate on imitation crab. Rothschild just said, "Are you trying to get me banned?" Yeah, I'm trying to get you. I'm trying to reban you. I'm trying to figure out an excuse to get you rebanned. No, dude, everyone's welcome. Just don't be gay. Bro's definitely jorking his shit with it. No, so we were talking about the cat, and I was a little worried about it because my wife looked anxious. And then we got he's just like 3 now. And like, I don't know, I feel bad. I wish we could my wife really does not like the idea of letting him outside and stuff like that, which is completely fair. But there's something about it when when you have a cat and they're like chilling, because our cats aren't like lazy cats. They don't get me wrong, they'll sleep for a while and shit like that, but they are also big at running around and doing shit like that. They're big at running around and doing shit like that, and you're like, damn, I wish I could let you run around the neighborhood and fucking kill mice and rats and shit like that. Because you see the way that when there's like a bug in the house, I actually feel good for them when there's a bug in the house, the way that they get activated and chase that bug. You're like, yeah, dude, it's hitting at something primal. And I think he's getting older as a cat, and he's hitting there's some primal shit he's getting hit with, and he just needs to fucking kill shit and stuff like that. And yeah, apparently I think we're gonna look into getting stuff that stimulates him mentally and shit like that. And then so he's gonna partake in that and then not be as crazy because he's doing like crazy shit now where he's like fucking with our girl cat and like trying to hump her. And like he's attacking her, not like attacking her, it's like play shit or whatever. But it's at times it gets a little aggressive and you'll like look over to the girl cat. Ooh, look at that. The Are You Gay poll is now at 50%. Yes. That's what I want for my people. But what was I saying? What the fuck was I saying before? Yeah, no, he'll get like a little bit too aggressive with it. And you gotta like pull it back. You gotta pull it the fuck back. Anyway, cat wheel. Yeah, I mentioned the cat wheel to my wife before, and she was like, I don't know where we would put that. And I was like, I got plenty of room in here. I don't mind giving the boy a corner. If it'll fucking chill him the fuck out, I'll give the boy a corner of the room for a wheel, dude. I don't give a fuck. Why is my computer slowing down? Oh, it's because I opened this fucking website. They're coming at that Dasha girl. Did you guys see that? She had like Nick Fuentes on her podcast. He's revolting against the modern world and returning to Lion. Yeah, I think he's in his Kaczynski phase. I think the bro is just Kaczynskiing the fuck out. No, I wanted to check this out, and if we check this out, Slav, you're gonna have like I really need you to chill. I am Dasha. No, I find her interesting. Yeah. But yeah, I saw this because apparently this Dasha lady, who I didn't know a lot about her until I'm not trying to come. I can't stand. There's like I don't even know who the fuck. This person isn't even on my rate. Well, I'm fucking bringing them on a stream talking about them. So I'm not like trying to do that pretentious pretending thing where you act like you're like, this isn't even worth. I wasn't, because a lot of people do that and it's like the cringiest shit ever. And it's like, you're literally sitting there actively talking about them. Like you're not, not better than anything right now. Ah, fuck. I closed down the goddamn page. Let me pull that back up. Adam Friedland had sex with Dasha. Is that confirmed? I don't know. There's something about that Dasha chick that it like does it for me. There's just something about a like just a pretentious bitch. something about a pretentious like and you're just like you stupid bitch. Anyway, let's not include that. Let's take that out in post. But yeah, so I saw this going around online with this Dasha lady, Nekrasovas. I know she's on the Red Scare podcast. I knew about Red Scare, but I just knew about it as like, oh, it's a podcast with like two kind of like hot artsy chicks, and they're, you know, I think I tried to listen to one episode and I was like, it feels like they treat politics as their fashion accessory. Not to be sexist. I hope that doesn't, I don't mean that in like a sexist way, just like in a straight up way. Cause like, it's not a exclusively female. I'm not saying it's like a female thing. Like dudes do it too. You see it all the time with a lot of these like political commentators where you're like, oh, you're just in it for the game of it. You like the game of politics. And it's like my vibe with Red Scare is like they got into they were doing the political stuff because of the you know, the like celebrity and then the access to, and I'm not saying I'm right about this. I'm just saying this was my first impression on it. You know, and so, you know, it's that whole thing where it's like there's that you're into it to be kind of like considered one of the intellectual elites at the fancy parties and it's like some shit like that. And I'm like, oh, that's corny, because I don't like politics. I like learning about the world and trying to solve problems. You know what I mean? I don't really do that. So I don't even know who she was. And then it was that clip of, she had that one clip on that one dude's podcast. I think the dude's podcast was like Doom Scroll or something like that, which actually, no, my friends had is that what the podcast is called? Doom Scroll? Because fucking Crick and that one comic from Baltimore, they had that one podcast where they technically took the name from Lemaire, but we're not gonna talk about that. But it wasn't, they didn't, no, they called it Coward Hour. Why did I confuse those two? Oh yeah, they had Coward Hour, which I thought was a great podcast name. But yeah, it's this Doom Scroll podcast, which I've watched a couple of them. I like the way the dude does it. But even in that one, it's this whole thing where it's like they approach politics again. They approach politics with the vibe that it's like this. It's this like sort of ironic, emotionally distant, like like it's a cool, like the cool kids club, and they have this whole like, I don't even know the fucking words for it, but yeah, it comes off as like, your political opinions are almost like another fashion accessory you have, rather than just being like, what's the best way to live life and, cultivate a positive society and stuff like that. So I was never like a huge fan of that vibe. But then I saw her on that Doom Scroll thing, and she was like talking about Luigi Mangione saying he got one-shotted by ayahuasca. And I was like, why does this girl's voice sound like this? This is insane. But then, and then we went on with our lives, and I thought nothing of her. I didn't even realize till recently she got fired. She was on Secession. But yeah, she's apparently like an actress as well and shit like that. But the reason I guess she got dropped from her agency because of having Nick Fuentes on. And I got to be perfectly honest, and you guys know me, I'm not a big Nick Fuentes fan in any way. I don't think the kid he kind of earned a lot of the shit he got, but they did kind of go over the top. I've talked about it a bunch before. Nick Fuentes always tries to like put up his hands, and he goes, what? I'm just, Nick Fuentes, his big thing is he always goes like, what? Oh, widow old me? And you're like, brother, come on. Come on. Obviously a lot of people are overreacting at him, but it's like, what you did, dude. What you did. Come on. You don't give me the widow old Nick. Widow old Nick. Because when he's solo on his stream, he's like Mr. Badass. But when he's on podcast, he's on Tucker Carlson, like, yeah, I'm just a kid. I don't know why people are coming at me. It's like, come on, dude. You're a fucking dickhead troll. Come on. And then I've talked about some of his opinions. Here's my thing. I've said this before. My thing with Nick Fuentes, he's very good at politics. Like, he should be a political advisor. He should be a Roger Stone or whatever the fuck. But it's like, if you really, it's like Nick Fuentes, he's got real good. He's kind of right about Israel, as long as you take out the whole like, and he's even lightened up about how he talks about the Jews, but still, he still has a very similar way of how he looks at the Jewish people as a whole. But even like, if you take that element out of it and you go like, but he's good on Israel. And I go, yeah, there's 1,000 people that are good in the exact same way. Now, he's a big voice, and it's good that a big voice like that is good on Israel. I'll give him that one. But it's then like, I heard, go listen to him on the second half. I say this, go listen to him on the second half of Tucker, and when it's like, take all the controversy away, take all his like clever little, his minute-long clips where he kind of looks like a badass and that, all that kind of stuff. And then just like go to the end of the Tucker episode when he actually got down to talking about, it was like 2-hour episode, final 30 minutes. They were like, oh, maybe I should ask you about things you think to actually see if you, have the strength as have a strong intellectual perspective on things. And it was all just like, okay, I've heard that opinion 1,000 times. I've heard that opinion 1,000 times. I heard that, but it's his ability as an orator is what makes people kind of hype him up way more on on good and bad sides of it, on the pro and anti sides of Nick Fuentes. His ability as an orator is what gets people to like hype him up more than he kind of deserves it a little bit. So that's my thing on that kid. But got a little sidetracked. My main point though is like, regardless if he's the second, regardless if he's like the fucking, Hitler incarnate or whatever however fucking bad term, whatever bad term you want to use him, however bad he is, this whole like fucking idea of, well, you can't platform people like this. You can't, these people, you just can't platform and stuff. And I go to that, I'm just like, can we all stop being little fucking babies? Because it's this weird thing you have to do. It's this weird like paradox you have to create where you're like, he's a fucking idiot. And I'm saying other people are saying this, but I'm like, it's this weird paradox you have to create where it's like, he's a fucking idiot. He's wrong about everything. We're right. He's wrong. We know way more than him. What we think is right and he's wrong. Also, we can't debate him ever. Because, what? Are you afraid of losing the debate? He's the dumbest guy ever. Shouldn't it be easy to have a calm debate with Nick Fuentes and prove his points wrong? Like Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson kind of did that. And when you listen to their Dave Smith and Tucker Carlson, who honestly, Dave big ups him a lot. I don't know if Tucker really does, but it's like, if you watch, it's like, Dave was nothing but polite. But if you go watch their interview, a bunch of these points that people are fucking pissed about Nick Fuentes at, are pissed at Nick Fuentes about. The vast majority of them, he completely like backpedaled on a lot of them. Not like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, or I was completely wrong. But like any of his outrageous opinions, he just kind of like, I don't know about all that. And it's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of funny. Like, because then you start to realize you're like, oh, I think you guys need this dude to be the boogeyman. Because like that's the part I never understand. That's the part why when people go like, oh, you can't platform these people, I just go like, are you a baby? Are you a full-grown widow baby who's scared to like I get it. Like the way I am, I'm not always gonna I'm not gonna want to like debate people. But it's like, I'm not the biggest fan of Fuentes. I don't hate the dude, but I'm not the biggest fan of him. I wouldn't be like afraid to have a conversation with him. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid that he would just like make the most, because I've seen his shit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying people would go, oh, Andy fucking destroyed him. He's good at fucking talking. He might come out, not sounding like a retarded Italian guy like I do all the time. He might come out of it sounding better, but I'm not sitting there like, he could probably come off better, but I'm not sitting here worried he's going to make like a more convincing argument. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I don't just haphazardly stumble into these opinions that I feel like a lot of fucking ultra left-wing people do from time to time, is like, because when it comes, because that's the thing, like they never seem built to actually argue about anything. You know what I mean? They don't seem built to actually argue about shit. Because when it's like, you could easily, it's like any of those topics. Like if I was talking that much shit about a person and about how they're wrong, it would imply that I could like easily dust them in like a debate about it. You know what I mean? But it's like no one wants to do that. They just want to shit on the guy. Because I think like, again, it goes back to this whole thing. It's just a game to these people. You know what I mean? It's this weird thing where it's like, they want it's I don't know if that, because they roll their eyes when people say this kind of shit, but it's like kind of, it's kind of apparent in their behavior where it'll be like, it seems like what you want is for him to, like, you don't want to say you want him dead, but it seems like you just want him to go away, because you want all of his way to make money stripped away from, you want all this stuff taken away. And you just see, so it's like, without saying it, you almost like go like, well, I would just be happy if the guy was dead. And there's something to that when you see how they react to Charlie Kirk. And I just find it weird with a lot of these people that it's like, why is it always get rid of them, silence them, make it impossible for them to make money? And why is it not? I mean, this is why, funny enough, fucking Slav in the chat, I fucking let him be an absolute menace, because I am a believer of, like, we can have these conversations. I let him be a menace before I actually banned him, because I was like, we can have these conversations. I'm looking at these opinions like, oh, that's just an easy, dumb opinion to have. If I have a calm conversation with you, I can convince you otherwise. It's like, but that's like my whole fucking thing with Fuentes. It's like, you guys just want blood. If you actually gave a shit about the issues you gave a shit about, you'd be wanting to have conversations with the guy to go, maybe we kind of like turn him on that. Maybe we turn him on that. Because it's like, Dave and Tucker well, I don't know how much they did it. Because that's the other thing too with Fuentes is, again, he goes on other people's podcasts that he thinks are like, which they are, I guess they are bigger than him, but I don't know if he understands how big he is. Or maybe he doesn't, he's just bullshit. But like, I got to watch more of his clips and shit. Because he'll go on these podcasts and he'll just be like, man, downplay stuff. I'm a widow baby, things like that. And then I'll see these clips where he's just like, he had a clip recently I saw where he goes right back to talking shit to Dave. And I'm like, that's the other thing with him. That's what I have a beef more with that kid. That's the beef I have more with that kid than anything, is like he's still very immature. It's like the things he's most concerned about are like, who said bad stuff about me and blah, 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 blah. It's like, that's what he, you saw it a lot on the Tucker Carlson episode. That's what he said the most. Is just like, it was a huge focus on what mean stuff people did to him. And there was a lot of bullshit that happened to him that shouldn't have happened to him. Like, all the people harassing him and stuff like that, and, his bank accounts and da. But I gotta be honest, I don't see the kid talking about, it's like you say in the comments, like, well, they just clip up the bad parts. And it's like, there's a lot of clips, man. Why do his fans never clip up the 10-minute clip where he had a strong, good, fleshed out argument? You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's not me saying fuck that. I almost said, it's not me being like, yo, fuck Nick Fuentes. I would, dude, if the kid came out and was like, yo, libertarianism, Rothbard, all that shit, like, fuck yeah, dude. I'm actually gay. Like, fuck yeah, live your true self, Nick. It's like, the kid starts ripping it. I'm right there behind him, dude. But it's just like, it's the, it's just the lack of, I see a lot of clips of him talking about drama stuff. I don't see a lot of clips of him being like, oh, here's a strong thought out argument. You know what I mean? I just get, it's not fuck Nick Fuentes. I just get worried people get really caught up in the drama of shit. You know what I mean? They get really caught up in the drama. And I think a lot of these people have sort of a lot of people on the right have put their flag in, like, it's not even like pro Fuentes. It's like, fuck you guys for trying to cancel him or trying to fuck him up. Like they're almost leaning into which is fine. I guess there is a good sort of metaphorical, there's still like a metaphorical, sort of war happening there. But when the dust settles, it's like, can someone please get the kid to like make a make a strong argument about things, you know, where he doesn't just have an opinion I've heard 1,000 times already, you know? So, and then, yeah, and this is the other thing too about, I got a little off topic from Dasha, but this is the other thing too about Dasha is like the calculated nature of this, you know what I mean? Where it does worry me because it does feel like the Zionisters seem to just, they band together, and it's very, I don't know, it's very apparent whose turn it is to get fucked up, you know, because you saw with Candace Owens. Like, Candace Owens has one of the, I mean, I think recently she had the most downloaded podcast in the world. And I bet you if I go to iTunes right now, and I just go to podcast charts, top podcast, she is, damn, number 2, Matt and Shane. That's insane. Dudes I started out comedy with, and 3 of my close friends work on the second most popular podcast in the world. You know what I mean? And I can't get booked on Skankfest. What does this world come to? Number 12. There we are. Number 12. You know what I mean? And it's like anyone shitting on her is not doing anywhere near as good as her. Yeah, Rogan. I mean, that's a good, I got to give it to him. Rogan, Matt and Shane and Tucker being the top 3 rips pretty hard. But yeah, you know what I mean? And then you start seeing these people who are like, it's not just like, it's not, you know, Candace Owens, one of the most popular shows in the fucking world. She's doing shows that on YouTube get 1 million views before the day's over. And you see all these, what am I trying to say? You know, she's huge. She's one of the biggest shows in the fucking world. And you just see all these tweets, these calculated strikes at her where they're just like, Candace Owens go, I legitimately don't, you know, I don't think she's well. You know, they're trying to almost get her committed or something like that. And then you start seeing all these dudes who like we're just supposed to forget Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk were clearly friends and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's like, they'll be like, dude, Charlie didn't even talk to her. They didn't even, it's like, dude, she was at an event within the last year of Charlie's life. Like, there was clearly a calculated strike on Candace. They tried to do one on Tucker for a minute, and it just feels like it's Dasha's turn now. So it feels like, and again, it's why I think like the woke right thing is an appropriate, the woke right thing is like an appropriate criticism or appropriate title for sort of the people who just will not allow criticism of Israel. Because they're acting exactly like the fucking woke people. They're not trying to have, because if you actually were right and had a good point, you would just want to have a conversation, but they're not, and they don't. So what they do is they make it so you're afraid to touch that rail, touch that subject. I said rail because they're making it like a third rail. They want to make you afraid to touch on that subject. You know what I mean? And it's not about winning the argument. It's just about like making you afraid to go there. It's not necessarily like about being like, yeah, this is why Dasha, it's wrong. It's a signal. It's like, yo, you come for us, you know, and we don't control all the stuff, but we will immediately get you fired from all your have all your shit. I'm being funny, but you guys know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, it's just some. That's why it's like if you see some people saying like, "Oh, why would you platform these people?" It's like you're being a bitch. You're being a bitch, and you're letting the fucking crybaby mobs fucking win. And yeah, man, it fucking sucks ass. It fucking sucks ass, and it's stupid, but she'll be fine. I mean, I feel bad because it seems like she wants to be an actress, and this seems like it's gonna really hurt her ability to be an actress for a little bit. I think over time, people will stop caring and she'll be able to act, but it is fucked up. It's like, you know, she did. It's why I was talking about this with that drummer, the drummer I'm a fan of, Craig Reynolds. He was the drummer for Stray from the Path. And all these like fucking closed-minded, stupid music fans were getting pissy because he had an interview with the dude from Slaughter to Prevail. And everyone's like, well, he used to he used to be a bad guy and hang out with right-wing extremists and have a what was it, the black sun, whatever that fucking Nazi adjacent tattoo is with the sun. I forget what it was called exactly. And then he's like, oh yeah, I grew up in a bad area and I ran with a bad crowd because they were the only people who showed me love. And I do have a sordid past, but I acknowledge that all that stuff was fucked up and I apologize. And I'm sorry I did all that. And everyone goes, yeah, but you still did it. And you're like, okay, so like, just what's the thing we're doing? I thought we were doing this to make people better. I thought we were trying to make people fucking better. You know what I mean? I thought we were trying to make people fucking better. So what are we doing? What are we fucking doing? You know, and it's the same thing with like, that's the thing. Oh, we have this evil, spooky boogeyman. Fucking Rogan says it all the time. The best disinfectant is goddamn sunlight. The best disinfectant is goddamn sunlight. So, yeah, what the fuck are we doing? Stop being a bit like, it really comes down to just like, everyone always tries to have these like overly intellectual conversations about it. It really comes down, just stop being a fucking pussy. Can you believe she talked to Nick Fuentes? Oh, are you a goddamn baby that can't fucking talk to a mean guy? You know what I mean? It's a kid. It's a dude who's like, you know, only living with white people is the best thing ever. And I noticed I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood and then I moved to an area with some people who weren't white. And I was like, that was dangerous. And I put two and two together. And you're like, oh, so you're, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, you don't think like you can hit him with a slight level of nuance to his fucking broad ass fucking base level points? Are you that fucking scared of that shit? And then when you talk to him about his other stuff, you're like, oh no, how could we possibly go toe to toe with milquetoast conservative takes? How could we possibly go to toe to toe with, you know, maybe you shouldn't jerk off so much? How can we fucking compete with that? You know what I mean? Maybe you guys just stop being fucking pussies. How about that? But anyway, yeah. So Slav is bogarting the chat. Yeah, Slav. This is why I banned you earlier. You go fucking crazy and no one wants to comment. You make yourself hard to love, brother. I wasn't really paying attention, but literally next time, dude, you're out of here. You know what I mean? It's the spam comments, dude. It's just, brother. Yeah, I guess it's not that bad. Okay, you're not being that bad. You got close, but you're not being that bad. Well, this is actually an interesting comment. You said, end of the day, not a single piece of policy or legislation has ever been affected or impacted or influenced by Fuentes or Carlson or Dave Smith or Kelly. They shouldn't be bothering people that much. Here's the thing. I actually think some of the stuff does get influenced more than you think it does. Because I know Tucker has actually, I've heard Tucker has like firsthand consulted with certain people in the White House. I actually think sometimes they're, and like, you know, it's like a lot of times too, you don't know who's actually like watching their content and things like that. You don't know who's actually watching their content. So like, you know, Dave always makes the joke, Dave always makes the joke that Trump will talk about shit like he governs in a way where you're like, he just goes off of what he saw on Fox News that day. So it's like, on one hand, you can't take for granted, like, there's definitely people higher up watching Tucker Carlson. There's definitely people higher up watching Part of the Problem. Like, there's definitely people higher up. But is it aggressively, directly affecting policy? No, I don't. I get what you're saying. But also at the same time, even if it did, it's like, well, tell me why that's wrong. It all just comes back to the argument, because it's like, once you make a good argument and people finally see what, you've been trying to get them to see, it's hard for them to see it any other way after that. So I think at the end of the day, it's like, brother, just stop being a fucking pussy and just try to hit these people with a good fucking argument. Yeah, man. I'm pretty talked out. This was a really good one. I appreciate you guys. I had a lot of fun with this one. I'm gonna get out of here. I will be back tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Is tomorrow Thursday? Yeah, tomorrow is Thursday. I'll be back again. I think I'm running solo, but Pat will be here with us on Friday. Probably talk some new music and things like that. Great stream. I love you guys. Slav, you went a little yeah, you were commenting a lot. And sometimes when you comment a lot, it kind of like, you kind of bogart the chat. So, but I got it, content wise, you were way better. And I do truly appreciate that. You were way better. But yeah, maybe we work on the bogarting the chat. Because that was a lot. But also, a lot of you guys aren't into gay ass politics like this, so I get why it got a little bit more silent. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I will be back tomorrow. I love you guys. You're the best.